Big O Show. This is the 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 Big O Show.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvietto's Awards and more. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orviettosawards.com. Orvietto's Awards and more, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
There's just one place to celebrate our happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Plus last chance savings on a 2024 RDX. $379 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slomin Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, Get a free Slomin Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slomin Shield.
Welton Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rheaume can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rheaume can help. Call 954-966-4646. After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
The lost city of Atlantis reveals its secrets at Toyota of Hollywood. Get legendary deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a 2024 Corolla, not $24,000, $20,988. Unlock the wonders of 0% financing for 5 full years, 0 down. Rediscover Atlantis at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649. or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Welcome aboard. Time to rock and roll for the next couple of hours here on the program. Hope you all are doing well. It is Thursday. Where else are we going to be on a beautiful Thursday but Hialeah Park? Yes, sir. Second floor poker room. We are here having some fun with the great Sean Stanley, the man by my side, the man that masters this entire platform every single day. I know Steve Calibro will be popping in. We will have David Furones from the South Florida Sun Sentinel with our Welton Rheaume Miami Dolphins report. That'll be at 3:30, at 4 o'clock or 4:30. I think it is, right? No, I think she said 4:30. No, make sure. 4:30. At 4:30, Michelle Kaufman will join us from the Miami Herald, Inter Miami beat writer, and looking forward to talking to her. because we've got the playoffs tomorrow. I know some of you or most of you don't even know that the playoffs are going on tomorrow. But yes, I wish we had a better vibe for Inter Miami because they really the Moss brothers deserve. They deserve like monster love, dude. Because really, this is this season 5? I want to say, or season 5, right? Because we went into the second season with GQ, and then we went with Neville for a couple of years, and now we're with Tata for a couple of years. I want to say this is either season 5 or season 6. And you had the rocky start where you didn't do well, and all of a sudden now you're in the playoffs, the number 1 seed. You should, be in the finals, maybe even win it. You know what I'm saying? So it's nasty what they've done. I mean, they only Huizinga and the Marlins have done something like that when they did it in 97. Okay. Now they still started in 88, right? If I remember correctly. No, 93. 93 was the Marlins. 88 was the Heat. The Heat was 88. 93 was the Marlins. So 97, 4 years later, you're in the World Series and you're winning it. So that's, pretty close. 19 is what it is. So this is season 5. Yeah, season 5. So it's season 5. Because each of those coaches lasted a season and a half or 2 seasons and a half or whatever, season and a half. And then because they really didn't complete multiple seasons, I think. They might have been blown out. Neville? GQ completed 2? And then he got bumped out. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then they had the interim coach, and then Tata came. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's amazing, and they should be. I mean, they should be praised, dude, for what they've done. So we'll have Michelle on. We got some stuff to talk about. We got a couple things going on in the world of sports. Obviously, last night was an absolute debacle with the Miami Heat. We got to get into, there's a couple things that we got to look at that it might be a message. And, we're going to talk about that also on the show because you saw the obvious. But first, we got to kind of dig deeper and see what's going on. And something I told you about before in the Heat that I think kind of rolls over into what we're talking about and what we watched and witnessed, last night. So it's going to be very interesting moving forward. I'm just kind of, seeing through the trees. So maybe I'm wrong, but we'll find out. But yeah, a lot of things to talk about on the show. We've got the Panthers back in action tonight against the Rangers after getting their asses kicked. The Heat are off till Saturday against Charlotte. We've got Inter starting the playoffs tomorrow. We've got the Dolphins in action on Sunday. Tua's back. Saturday, FSU and we will be on. We'll be on Friday night after the MLS game. We'll be on after Inter in Atlanta. We told you we're going to start doing post-game shows we're back on for the Canes too, since we're in town. So we'll be on Friday night, and then we'll be on Saturday night also for the Canes. Manny Navarro will join us on that post-game show for that one. So we'll have some fun. Hopefully we'll have some fun that Miami takes care of business against FSU. So just in case here on the platform, nobody's really going to give you anything Inter Miami wise. I'm really the only person in town that really talks Inter Miami on a consistent basis out of the real media that is in town. So it's we'll do the same thing. We're gonna do the playoffs, man. This is special, and the rest of the South Florida area is not on board. It's really the South American fans that are Messi fans or something like that that are on board, and they're Messi fans. They're not really Inter Miami fans. So we got to breed more of those Inter Miami fans. It's almost like you're spoiled and you're taking this for granted, and it's this is really cool. And we're really lucky. So I hope you guys look at it that way. But anyway, True Fin fan is in the house. I see number 1. May the gods of intelligence. Okay. Normally for me, it's negligence, but intelligence shine upon McHumbles. Okay. Negligence, intelligence. It could be the same thing for McD. Jamie Zoria in the house in San Jose says, I hope everybody's having a great week. I'm so nervous for this week's game. Remember to smash the like button. That's right. Smash it. And the like button too. Thank you. Gus 1388. Oscar Rojas is in the house. Steve Chapman. Ray Sosa. Skylar Tipton. Jay Gelfin. Think Blue Dodgers. Chef Jew. Let's see. Jero Vincent. I'm ready to hear some shit. Starts with Greer. Brian Landis. Lexus Palenzuela. Daniel Berry. Chris Duquette. Frankie says, if you had an opportunity to buy a franchise in football outside of the Miami Dolphins, which one would you buy? I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. They have the biggest cash reserves in the NFL. They have a fan base that actually owns stock in the team. It's a team that since the 60s, it's been run pretty well overall. There was a lull when I was young in the 80s, early 80s, when like Forrest, was it not Forrest McGregor, but because I'm mixing something up with an actor, Forrest Whitaker, Forrest Gregg, I believe. And like in that time, I remember that lull right before the Magic Man came in, and then Favre, and then they kind of took off again, But they had that lull where they weren't that good. So I remember, but before that, then obviously they had their heyday. And then they have this college-like following with their team. And everything around that town revolves around the team. So there is a real symbiotic connection between the fans and the team, and then the finances are super, super healthy. The stadium is still one of the original stadiums. Lambeau is hollow ground now in the NFL because the Orange Bowl is dead. Shea Stadium's dead. Right? We start going around everywhere. Riverfront, dead. Right? Niedermeyer, dead. I'm sorry. I'm mixing things up here. So you get what I'm saying. I could just go on and on and on and on and talk about all the great fields that are dead. Lambeau's still there. So I have the history. I have a fan base that truly loves and follows the team and is also invested in themselves because you can buy Green Bay stock. My buddy that's a Packers fan, he owns Green Bay stock. You know what I mean? Like that, it's kind of one of those things. Yeah, I'm going to go there. I'm going to go Packers because it really I move in. I own royalty, and it's all in place. You know what I'm saying? All I have to do is maintain it. Not easy, but I'm going to go there. I said Forrest Gregg, yes. It is Forrest Gregg, right? You looked at a history of coaches? Right, he was a player, and he became the coach, yeah. Oh, and he was an actor? Oh, so maybe I make... Right, Run to Daylight. Okay, I don't know. I don't know about that. But anyway, there's your answer, Frankie. Interesting question. Hopefully I gave you an answer you didn't expect. What? Oh, you have the results? Holy shit. We have the result. The results are in for the ahs and ums in the Mike McDaniel contest. It is Thursday, so I didn't put any pressure on him because I know we had traveled and did all that stuff. And whoever the winner is, you're going to get your damn shirts and the hats. I'm not worried about that. But I'm just, I don't put pressure on the man. So what do you got, bro? Open up the mic. Let's go. Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, 478 ums and ahs.
And by the way, we have retired this freaking contest. I'm never putting 80 minutes of my life through that again. 83 minutes of my life I will never get back.
Was it 4 press conferences or 5?
Ums and ahs. 4, thank goodness. But 2 of them were over 25 minutes.
Okay, so was it 4 or 5 press conferences?
4 total.
4 total. 3 during the week and 1 post game. 400 and how much?
478 was the final count.
478. All right. Do we have a wiener? Who and nobody nailed it, right? But who got close at least?
Oh, I haven't gone through.
Oh, you haven't gone through the emails yet?
Yeah, no.
Oh. All right, so we'll have the winner tomorrow.
Oh, I don't. Okay.
Yeah, because you got to go through Big O Radio. Oh, you don't have the email? Okay, I'll go through it then. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought you had access to it. Oh, so you had access, so now you don't have access. All right, so tomorrow I'll have the winner, 478. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
Almost 6 a minute.
6 a minute. Damn, dude.
He had 195. That was his best press conference, 195. But that press conference was also 25 and a half minutes.
Wow. Oh, I see all the sticks there. Wow.
He had one where it was only 70, but he's only asked 3 questions. He was very long-winded, that press conference.
That's fantastic. All right. Yeah. Okay. See, I'm looking I'm looking at the email now at Big O Radio Show to start looking at it and looking at the people that are sent in the stuff. Okay. I will have it. I'll go through that. Since he did the hardest part, really, I'll go through who the winner is. So if any of you ended up sending in that email before Sunday at midnight, and you're close to 478 or on target, you might have won, bro. You might have won the grand prize, 478 ums and ahs in 4 press conferences. Yes. That's over 100 ums and ahs per press conference. That's nearly 120 ums and ahs per press conference. It's like 119 point something.
Yes, sir. I as I was listening to it, all I could picture was that Billy Madison scene. I am stupider for having to have listened to this. You have not made any of us smarter, and you have not made one coherent thought.
478. So now you know when you sit down with your buddies, bro, did you know that Mike McDaniel averages 119 ums and ahs per press conference? They're going to turn to you and go, how the hell do you know that? Get out of here, bro. No, seriously. Try it. So now you know the over and under. You can play this game now. Now you remember how I love making you guys money, that we think of things? Now you can sit here with your friends and you can go, I bet you that Mike McDaniel, how many ums do you think he'll have? That's how you suck him in first. How many? Oh, he's going to have like 50. Oh, yeah, no, he's going to do 60. And you already know what number you're playing with. 119. You know the number now. Okay? 119. So you can play it. Oh, no, yeah. Bet you he'll do 100. No way. Boom. Got him in.
Also, if there's injury questions.
By the way, there's no jersey for him because it would be 119.
Injury questions, double it.
Oh, really?
Oh, there was one where I was like, I had to go back because I was like, I think he did a I was like, I think he's doing Morse code. I thought he was Morse coding to somebody. I'm like, what is going on? You ask him he's trying to figure out the best way to say it.
Yeah,
and it's just like, especially with the injury questions. It's like,
yeah, he thinks and tries to craft everything in his mind before he delivers it. And while he's crafting it, he's and it's being written in his chalkboard in his mind. And then it's gonna come out. 119 per press conference. I'm just saying, you got don't even try a drinking game. Okay, that's alcohol poison. You're going to be charged with murder. Okay? Why? Because some attorney is going to go back and find this episode and said, you watched the Big O show. He told you that Mike McDaniel has 119 ums and ahs. That, in effect, when you told your friend he had to take a shot for every and ah, you knew he would die that day. I'm just trying to protect you too at the same time. No drinking games. Not even for an injury question. One injury question could kill every human being on the planet with the ums and ahs. Okay? Just say I'm trying to do a service here for you guys. Give you a betting angle, and also let's not hurt thy neighbor. Come on. It's not what we're about here. We're here to look out for each other. So no drinking games with the ums and ahs and Mike McDaniel, because that's basically suicide.
I now have a newfound respect for Tyler Huntley. Not only was he trying to learn this offense, but now he's going, let's run a 38 run it.
Mike cuts off. Huntley looks up, sees everybody in the huddle, goes, did you guys hear? Oh, no, that's right. I'm the only one with the headset.
Starts drawing a play on the ground. Shit. Okay, you're going to go out.
What did he say? What was that again? What was that, an or a 7? What did he say?
Mike, you know what he should do? Just call the plays with ums and ahs.
That's it.
3 ums. Okay. Flip the thing, find 3 ums. Okay, this is what we're running.
It's like he's like a human decoder from a computer. You know how the codes in computers are 1s and 0s and 0s and 1s and all kinds of combinations? Ums and ahs are his 1s and 0s. That's basically it. So congratulations to somebody tomorrow. Yef is in Long Island. Hello, Yef. Yon Padilla. He's checking in from San Jose. Show me the way. Chris Duquete, Arizona Fanatic. Rosendo, Brett Dodger. Sweet Baby Ray. Thinking McD could use Jim Caldwell. Yeah, no, I don't think. I think he's like a consultant somewhere still. Yeah, I don't know. We got to get past sweet Jim Caldwell. Those days are, Jim Caldwell is already like in his 70s. So we're done with Jim Caldwell thoughts. Yes.
No, I was thinking of what Raging said in here is you play Saturday, right? At Hard Rock? And then the Dolphins are Sunday?
Who? Oh, the Canes.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Just leave the U out there and then put a little M right beside it.
Oh. I love it. We named it Pat Riley Court. Let's name it the and Ah Field. That's it. One end zone's called and the other end zone is called Ahs. I like it. There's a lot of things we can go on that. Yeah. Every time Jason Sanders misses a field goal, and ahs. So, yeah.
If you look up and you see that there's more than 2 minutes left on the clock and Jason Sanders runs on the field, you're like,
Tyreek Hill dropping a pass in a key moment. So we can play with this. Giovanni Ray is in the house. Lenny Pena. Brett Dodgers says NFL coaching for dummies. Lenny says same problem, same issues with the Heat, no size, no offense, out-rebounded 57-41, shot 39%. They struggled against the better team. Same thing as last year. Jazz. They're running it back, baby. Running back the same issues. Tom Stockel is in Rome, Italy. Wow. Bring me a pizza. Chinovo, Adrian Delgado. Let's see. What else do we have here? Forrest Gregg. There you go, Rosendo. Rosendo was correcting me. Thank you. OB is dead. That's right. All the good all the old stadiums are gone. Soldier Field is still it's still there and it's covered up, but it'll be gone soon. They're moving out of that, out of the spaceship that they built around the stadium. An important question. No, not Ginger or Marianne. I'm talking about Dream of Jeannie versus Bewitch. Oh, no, come on. Barbara Eden every day of the week. I love Miss Montgomery. Elizabeth Montgomery was a beautiful woman, no doubt about it. But Barbara Eden is one of the most gorgeous women I have ever seen in my life, dude. Like Barbara Eden to me is what Halle Berry is to me now. Like perfection. Yeah. Ooh, Barbara Eden for me is like one of God's greatest creations ever. Yes. No. Barbara Eden by miles and miles and miles, and over Ginger and Marianne too. In that era, Barbara Eden was probably one of my tops right there of that era. It's Anne Margaret, it's Raquel Welch. That's where I put Barbara Eden, like at that level. Those super, super incredible women that we've seen over time that are close to perfection. Let's see, what else do we have? Skylar Tipton, Pat in Asheville. Good to hear from you, my brother. Now Sean has to go through 478 emails. Now I'll go through the emails. I'll handle the emails. I can do that tonight when I'm relaxing. I gotta watch some tonight, right? We got Thursday Night Football? Huh? Got the Panthers, got Thursday Night Football? Yeah, we got a few things to watch. Yeah. So I'll take care of that. Liz was a smoke show in her day. Yes, she was. Let's see. Dolphin says, with Tua now back at the helm, do the Finns finally get it going, or maybe get on a streak? Well, we'll see, dude. We'll see. They've got a bad coach, so Tua has to overcome a bad head coach. That's the reality that we face now. Ragin is in the house. Lisa Rose in the house. How about the people like from Rochester, like back to back, Ragin and Lisa? There's no chance that they actually timed it, that they were going to chime into the show at the exact same time and send in a text. There's no freaking way.
They're sitting at a coffee shop together in like 1, 2, 3.
I know that they've kind of connected on the show, that they know that they're from the same area. But think about that. Ragin and Lisa are from the exact same area. They're watching the show from a different part of that area, and they send in a text. I mean, simultaneously. That's kind of trippy there,
I guess.
That's an per yard per second, says Ragin. Has Sean contacted Guinness, says Pat.
Sending me a couple pints over right now.
McDaniel is definitely on the spectrum. Emphasis on Lukey Luke. Will there be more passing yards or next week? It's interesting. Yeah, well, with Tua back, you would hope so. Michael Soren says, start talking about actually Finn's content. Missed that about this program. Michael. Yeah, maybe you should just wait for the segments, my brother. You know what I mean? It's a talk show, so I don't do that kind of stuff. So you're going to have to wait, man. You're going to have to wait for whenever the hell I want to do it. So maybe you're better off tuning out and wait for him to make it a segment, and then you can watch what you want to watch. You know what I'm saying? But you don't get to run it live, unfortunately, for you. Louis Beltran, and you're getting off easy. Let's see, what else do we have on the chat board? Yes? What were you going to say?
There was a conversation going on, and it made me think about something. I can't find it now to who it was, but whoever it was, they were talking about the halftime speech from Mike McDaniel because of the ums and ahs. Maybe that's why no adjustments can happen.
The ums and ahs take up all the time.
All the time. You can't get to the adjustments to come back out for the second half. Ums and ahs.
Okay.
And there were a couple people talking about it in there. So, Luke, he said, how many ums and ahs during the halftime speech?
Well, we need access to it. You know what I'm saying? And then we can figure it out. Now, is it a halftime speech that you're leading or a halftime speech that you're trailing? Okay. By the way, we are going to be November 9th. We're going to be at the Smudge Pot Brewing Company, which is John Phillips. He is the owner. You know who John Phillips is? He is the father of Jalen Phillips. So we're going to be out there in Los Angeles on Thursday through Monday. Okay? Since we're going to be out there for a whole bunch of days. Saturday, 2 to 5, we're going to be at the Smudge Pot. Sunday, we're going to be at Sharky's, both Dolphin fans events. We'll be broadcasting live, so we'll be doing a YouTube show here Saturday and Sunday. Monday night, Sean and I are going to do it straight from our studio, which is some place that we're staying at. And so we'll do it from there because it's a Monday night. We're going to go late and all that. We don't want to be somewhere and then travel, and then we got to pack up and all that. It's a mess. But we are going to have 2 live shows. And so I just want you, since I got the information, because I've been talking with John the last couple of weeks. So looking forward to it. It's a brewery. And it's about an hour away from the Ram Stadium. So it's a little bit of ways. But any of you that live in that area, Smudge Pot Brewing Company, you can join us on Saturday, 2 to 5 p.m. there in California. All right. So this year we're broadcasting in Niagara, in Buffalo. We're broadcasting in Seattle. We did Seattle, we did Indy, and now LA. So hitting the road, baby. All right. Is that Furones that popped in? All right. Let's talk a little Dolphins with David Furones and our Welton Rheaume Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins Insider, David Furones.
All right, David. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Getting through another week. Week where maybe there's a glimmer of hope, some excitement brewing in Miami Gardens. Although it would have been a lot nicer if they just get to 500 at 3-3 before Tua's return. But now 2-4 is what it is, and see if Tua can get this turned around.
Backs against the wall. So
yeah,
let's have some fun. Let's have some fun here. You sit through all his press conferences. Mike McDaniel. I'm sorry. I picked up the Steve Calibro disease, McDaniel's.
We did McDaniel apostrophe S, his press conference, McDaniel's press conference.
Press conferences, yes.
Yeah, you can do it.
That's true. That's two. That's two. All right, so let me ask you, how many ums and ahs do you think he has in one press conference? If you had to take a guess, since a person that sits through them, what's the average ums and ahs in a Mike McDaniel press conference? Give me a number.
Is this what you guys are talking about on the show on this Thursday afternoon? What you guys?
We had a contest last week where we're going to give away tomorrow. We're going to announce the winner, but we have the total already. And you had to send in how many ums and ahs does Mike McDaniel have in a week of press conferences? So that's 4 of them, 3 during the week and 1 post game. So I ask you now, all right, because now we have the total and we can then, formulate the average per press conference. What do you think he averages per press conference in ums and ahs?
Geez, so you said you had some data already, but it's.
Well, yeah, we've got the data, bro. We did it all last week. And we counted all his ums and ahs in all 4 press conferences. Well, somebody won 9 shirts and a hat on the show. So 9 different Big O Show shirts and a hat that we're sending them. Yeah. So that we're sending a nice big fat ass package to somebody that can name that. So whoever got it, I don't know who it is, but they're whoever either hit it or got close to it ends up being the winner. So you tell me. What do you think he averages per press conference?
You need me to give you a number. You need me to give.
Yes. There's no fence straddling here, bro.
Come on, Furones, spit it out. You got the number right there in your head. You know it.
It is 12.
Are you listening to the press conference?
Yeah, come on, bro.
I had to sit through each one of those videos.
I'm not listening for I'm listening for what I could use.
Seriously now, come on. Have some cojones. Come on.
He's in the facility.
Seriously, come on. Just give me a realistic number. It's not 12.
Oh yeah, because it's got to be lower, right?
Come on. No, a real number. Come on.
That's the way to do it. Good.
Yeah, come on.
All right. What is it like around 30 something?
Okay, there you go. 119. He did 478 ums and ahs in 4 press conferences. Never, ever play a drinking game.
You guys are probably counting like every little thing. Like I just did one right there, just thinking of.
We're calling every ums and ahs. Every ums and ah.
But sometimes you just say like I might go with the and then say the next word quickly, but it's not like a true like I'm still thinking,
Right. That's you. You're normal. That's me. I'm normal. That's Sean. He's normal. Mike McDaniel, well, that's a whole different ball game. He doesn't really talk smoothly. He doesn't talk with a train of thought that just flows. There is no flow in the show. You know what I'm saying?
In more ways than one.
There's
no flow.
Yeah, there's a lot of ums and ahs in that offense also. Yes. Touche to you, sir.
Oh, I was making reference to the Dolphins' previous head coach.
Oh yeah, no, but this offense
there's
too.
a lot of flows that are.
Yeah. What do you got, Sean?
No, I was gonna say Furones, the October 14th press conference. It was 25 and a half minutes long. If you would have took out the 195 ums and ahs, you guys probably could have been out in 15 minutes.
I will say a lot of the answers, and us in the media, we discuss it amongst ourselves. Is to us, we think, okay, is that filibustering? He's just taking up.
He's thinking. He's just thinking and trying to craft it in his mind.
Yeah,
and deliver it to you guys. The sad part is he's 3 years in, and he hasn't figured out that you guys are going to ask him the same freaking questions, because I've been doing this for 34 years, and pretty much the same shit happens over and over again. And the same scenarios pretty much happen. You'll have your outliers, that'll happen, freakish things, and then you'll have to deal with that. But more often than not, all the injuries are the same. Everything's the same. You just kind of have to know how to flow and send it out. And he has no idea how to just deliver and say, hey, OBJ will be back when we can get him on the field and he can practice completely, and then we feel comfortable and we'll activate him. All right, guys, that's what we got. Well, if OBJ feels all right and we can get him a few plays here or there, and it's because he's got to feel good about himself and everything in the playbook, and he's got to be and he starts thinking and going in all kinds of directions, and he just thinks too much, and he just doesn't flow and just say what's on his mind. It's bad.
Well, so my theory on it is that he's a smart guy. So he's got a lot of thoughts coming in. Yeah. The thoughts are going at a faster rate than he can talk and communicate them. Yeah. So it's like he hasn't yet gotten one thought out while the other thought is already coming in. So then now it's like interrupting the speaking, the communication of that first thought. And he's also, he's trying to give us, which I give him credit for this, is he's trying to give us the best answer to the question that he can. And so as he's saying one thing, then he comes up with a better way to say it. So like he interrupts that first part to then start saying it another way, if that makes sense.
No, it totally makes sense.
Right.
Dude, this is what, just because you're smart, and he is super smart, but just because you're smart doesn't mean you're great at delivering a message. Doesn't mean that you can stand there in front of a podium and control an environment the way you're supposed to control it, right? And you see it sometimes with presidents, right? You watch Ronald Reagan run it one way, Obama run it another way, and then you watch Trump, and it's completely different than all the other people. You know what I'm saying? So there's a way of doing things. Some people know how to do it, others don't. And it doesn't mean that he is, dumb or he's bad at it or whatever, but he is bad at this. Unfortunately, this is not his thing. And he's so smart that this is probably boring to him, is what it is. He'd rather be inside a dark room figuring out shit and trying to decipher this, that, and create plays. And I bet he flows a lot better when he's on the field talking to his players, because he has he has a comfort zone there that he doesn't have with you guys. With you guys in the public, he has to feel like he has to watch every word, and it sounds like he's watching every word. And that's the problem. On the field, he probably doesn't watch what he says, and he can just flow.
Right. And we saw from Hard Knocks last year, the way he talks, that he's dropping all these F-bombs. So you learned how he normally talks, and obviously he has to temper that down a little bit. But I don't know if – I don't think it's because that a lot of F-bombs are coming into his head that he wants to – and then he's got to stop himself. I don't think it's that. But you do see just the natural way that he talks when you the show kind of revealed that.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with it. Dude, I did radio for 30 years. And I speak with F-bombs all the time off the air. I could do it now on this show, but I mean, and I don't overdo it here on this show, but I've for 30 years, I didn't say any bad words. I think they might have had to dump me twice for the word shit or something, twice maybe in 30 years. So there's a discipline to all of that. That's easy. It's just, again, I don't think he's good at this. That's all it is. I don't think he's good at working a podium. I don't think he's good at that. He might even struggle when he's in front of the team and trying to explain kind of stuff to them in plays. He might struggle in that area. On the one-on-ones, on the field and all like that, and quick things like that, I bet he's flowing. But in those kind of settings, it kind of looks like that's not his thing. And that's DeSantis. Did you see him? When he had to show his personality, he had none. He was like a robot. It's not his thing. It's not his thing. It's not the way. It's not his strength. You know what I'm saying? There's just some people are like that. Some can do it and some can't. And they're trying to do their job anyway. But this public speaking stuff comes with the job. And some people are good at it. Joe Philbin was not good at it. He was terrible at communicating. Adam Gase at times was also, bad at it. Flo wasn't good at it either. Right. It was a different way. It wasn't ums and ahs. It wasn't thinking, but it was more of a dick kind of way of doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, it just.
I will say that I think the public speaking where Mike McDaniel does thrive in is when he is presenting to the team something, because I've sort of got an idea of him in this sense, and some of it was also on Hard Knocks. I do think he does well when it's a structured environment like this. He gets time to prepare his presentation of like this week's theme or how they're going to attack, or just coach talk, just coaching on certain strategies and game planning to the team. But now press conference is a different type where you are reacting to questions that come in. Now you do prepare yourself. You have an idea of what questions you're going to face, but it is a different type of communication where it's not just all you and your presentation.
Right.
It is reactive. There is an interactive sense to it.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So now So if you want to make any bets, that 119 is the over and under. He'll go over, rarely go under. So you can maybe make a little money there in the media room. Okay, so I'm just kind of helping you out there, bro. I'm just saying. A lot of people won't imagine that he'll average around 119 or more per and he did 194 and one. I mean, that's golden right there, dude. That is golden right there. What are you gonna say?
Furones, the next time you're sitting there, you're gonna start counting them. Watch.
Now I know I won't be able to stop.
Yeah. All right, so. What are we getting, bro? Tua's all excited. Tyreek is all excited. I hope his hands are also excited to hold on to the footballs, too, at the same time, because every time I see him talk a lot of crap, it's never really a good thing with Tyreek. So talk to me about the vibe in the room right now with Tua back.
Well, the vibe is a sense of that now – the Dolphins and their offense have their leader that can help right this ship, and that it won't be the way it has been the past 4 weeks with all these different quarterbacks, these 3 backup quarterbacks getting playing time, and the offense not running smoothly and averaging 10 points per game, and being last in scoring offense this year after it was number 2 in that category last year, number 1 in total offense last year. Then now it'll be closer to that. So Dolphins fans and for everyone out there, then hopefully everyone is correct. And I think there will be some rustiness, some rust factor to Tua's first game back. I think we saw it last year or 2 years ago when he had that first game back against Pittsburgh, a Sunday night football game. He missed some throws, had all those near interceptions, even though none of them were actually picked off. But I think you'll see some rust, but then you'll just see greater operation of the offense. You'll see him, the timing in the offense, the accuracy, delivering balls to Tua or to Tyreek and to Jalen Waddle. So I think all those things we'll see improvements in, but still obviously not to the level of Tua when he's really in a flow and rhythm, like peak Tua in the past couple seasons when he's really going. So I think it'll still be a sort of a get your feet wet, get back into the flow of things game.
Is OBJ going to play?
I mean, he'll play. Now, does he make a catch?
Oh no, with Tua he'll make a catch, but I know he tweaked like a hammy or something. So I'm not.
Oh, did he pop up on? Well, he popped up on last week's injury.
Yeah,
report,
so
right?
I just want
and
to
then
make
he did
sure.
play.
Yeah,
right.
he did play. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But then I think he wasn't on this week's. Yeah, he didn't show up on this week. So I guess it was just a very minor tweak, and then was able to play and isn't even on for it then. Whenever a player even gets treatment on a muscle, then they have to include it. So, maybe it was just like tightening up, and he wanted to get some treatment, and they had to include it. The team had to report it per NFL rules.
So, what'd you think of him not wanting to wear the Guardian cap? Because I think he should. I mean, if Achan's willing to wear it's almost like he's doing it to be defiant or to. It's like he's got this Napoleon complex. Like he wants to prove like he's Mr. Tough Guy, like he wanted to prove like he's Mr. Football Player, and he's not at this level, which he did kind of indicate that. Like it used to be my weapon at in college and in high school, but here at the highest level, he kind of indicated it in the press conference, which I credit him at least that it looks like maybe he's starting to realize, like, dude, just live in the pocket, bro. Just live in the freaking pocket, and that's it. And you can live forever if you live in the pocket. But if you want to go out and get crazy, go ahead. And your life is going to be short in the NFL. So your thoughts on him not wearing the Guardian cap?
Yeah, if I were him, I would wear it. Just a concussion history and the instances in which it has happened where it's not a lot of plays where there's been huge hits. Definitely the one in Cincinnati when he got slammed. That was one that you would consider really like a takedown and a big blow to the head. But some of these, like Matt Milano, it was Milano, right, pushing him back, and then he hits the back of his head. It didn't seem that egregious to be stumbling. Granted, that one they said wasn't a concussion, but the one where he's rolling out against Green Bay, I know. But I'm still counting it. I am myself, and so should a lot of people.
Concussion, bro. But it proved, by the way, that's the game that proves what happened, that he would have been able to easily play in Seattle, and that's why he made the trip. While he does get concussed, he recovers quickly.
Yeah, although the Green Bay one at the end of 2022, he went the whole month of January after it occurred on Christmas, still in concussion protocol. So that was like more than a month of recovery time. Now, granted, he hasn't cleared protocol yet for this one because he hasn't been able to practice until just yesterday. And maybe we see when the injury report comes out momentarily that I would assume he had an uptick into full practice from his limited first session. We'll find out for sure. And maybe that occurs Friday. But yeah, I mean, to be symptom-free the very next day after what was a scary sight in the fencing position, then, yeah, it does say something about his recovery. But the Dolphins, they drove their decision in putting him on IR based on that medical experts said he needs time regardless. So now I brought up the issue of IR, and maybe they could have had him for the Colts game. I don't know if in general, yes, time was needed, but it was the difference from 38 days between games to 45 days so pivotal? That would be my question, in that Or was it just like it was going to be they wanted to keep him out for several games anyway, and once you keep him out 3 and there's the bye week, you might as well put him on IR for 1 game? Maybe that was their thought process?
Optics. Come on, bro. It was all
There's that aspect too.
optics. Yeah, come on. Protect the player from himself. Protect the league by saying, hey, we did our part. We gave him rest. We gave him time to recover. Now he chose to go back out on the field. This is the league. This is the team. This is the money people behind the scenes. Without Tua, this has nothing to do with Tua. This is the league and the team and the owner and everybody having their secret conversations together saying, hey, how are we going to cover our asses? What do you think is going on with Brian Flores, bro? Why do you think Brian Flores has a job in this league? He's suing the NFL, but the NFL allowed him to get a job. Why? Because when the NFL is in court, they can say, what are you talking about racism? Racism? In Miami, there's no racism. He can sue us, but he's still working. What are you talking about racism? They covered their ass. And the NFL and the Dolphins have now covered their ass. This is the guy that is now the poster child of concussions, and he knows it. By the way, somebody tell him that he's all. I'll explain that in a second. But now you see, he's the poster child of this all. This is the way it is for him. So the league has to say, and the team has to say, okay, this crazy sumbitch is going to keep playing. All right, so we're already in court for these kind of things. Let's protect ourselves. Our doctors are going to give him the clearance. When they give him the clearance, we're going to give him time to recover. So we did the proper things on the optics side. If he goes and gets concussed again, it's on him. He chose to play. He chose not to wear the Guardian cap. Notice how twice Mike McDaniel told you in that press conference, that's a good question for Tua. That's a good question for Tua. He said it twice. Go ask him. Go put the burden on him. Don't put the burden on Mike McDaniel. Don't put the burden on the Miami Dolphins. Don't put the burden on the NFL. Go ask him. Oh, hey, Brian Flores, you say there's racism. Where is it? Miami has all kinds of minorities working. The Vikings have hired you. I don't know what you're talking about. You've gone for interviews for head coach. I don't know what you're talking about. So the league does all the stuff now to cover their ass. And that's what's going on here. Now, the other thing that I want Tua to know that he's full of shit, okay? Because he said, well, we don't look at boxers and we don't look at hockey players. Yes, we do, bro. Before you was Eric Lindros. Before you was Steve Young. Before you was Muhammad Ali, because we all talked about his Parkinson's from the rope-a-dope. Because of course, you might be young and you don't know what the rope-a-dope is, but he used to have fun and used to bring people into the corner and let him hit them, and then he'd just tire you out and then just put your ass out to sleep. But that rope-a-dope stuff cost him Parkinson's probably. Evander Holyfield, go watch interviews of a young Evander Holyfield and then go watch interviews of an old Evander Holyfield and 20 years after boxing and see who's punch drunk. You know what I'm saying? So when he started throwing that shit out, I was like, bro, you're a kid. You're 25 years old. You have no concept. You have no history of sports. You don't know anything, bro. You don't even have the internet in your phone, right? You don't follow anything, right? So how do you even know the history of sports? I forgot more of the history when I was 15 years old than Tua Tagovailoa will ever know. So, there's been lots of poster childs. He's just the latest one now. You know what I mean? So somebody needs to refresh in his ass about that. We've been talking about this for decades, bro. Decades we've been talking about this. Before it was all a thing, we were talking about, bro, what happened to Muhammad Ali? What happened to other guys, Steve Young, all that. Before the league admitted it, we were talking about it for a long time, dude. So, and by the way, Sidney Crosby is sitting there as a perfect example. A 20-year career, just signed a 2-year extension. He had more concussions than Tua at the beginning of his career.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Go look it up. I think it's like 6 or 7. 6 or 7. What's that called? Documented
Concussions, right?
Okay.
That's a key word with Tua too. Is that it's 3 documented concussions.
It's really 4. It's really 4 that we know of.
Mm-hmm.
That we know of, just like the 7 we know of for Sidney Crosby, or 6, whatever it is. There's probably a few. It's hockey, bro. There's probably a few more. You know what I'm saying? It's and so it just that's the part that I thought was very very ignorant on his part, and it showed his youth when he thought like, oh, I'm the guy that started this. No, bro, you didn't start this fire. This fire was started a long time ago. You're just another link to this story. Is what it is, unfortunately. But I just think that it's interesting how this is viewed, and I think it's sad that he. And by the way, by him not wearing the Guardian cap, also tells you, will he truly protect himself?
It's a fair question. I would wear the Guardian cap if I were him. Research says it could increase your head's ability to sustain these hits. It could minimize concussions by 10%. I would think that's just. I mean, any percentages you can add on to it. He already is going with that different helmet for quarterbacks that came out another year back ahead of the 2023 season. So that helmet helps. I mean, even if that helmet provides the same boost, then why not just Guardian cap over that helmet? Then you're really getting extra protection. And probably maybe for some guys now, like Devon Achane, I was asking him after he wore it on Sunday in Indianapolis. He said it felt comfortable for him, and he's a running back, and he's an even smaller guy who maybe that bigger thing on your head, especially a speedster like him, maybe it could hinder you and like weigh you down. I don't know how much it weighs. I think it's pretty light.
Yes.
But yeah, exactly. And I mean, guys practice in it on the practice field all the time. So, they're actually used to using it. So I would say, yeah, I was hoping Tua would wear it, but then he just attributed to personal choice. And, you're right as far as liability now. And yeah, I mean, NFL and the Dolphins, Mike McDaniel. Now, granted, of course, the league could like mandate if someone has had certain number of concussions, say, hey, you want to continue, you got to wear the Guardian cap. Maybe eventually.
That's got to be negotiated.
Right. That would have to be negotiated
through the NFLPA.
Right.
If
we
the
can't do
NFLPA,
that now.
yeah, the NFLPA has to approve it, and then first the NFLPA has to have the meeting with their players and say, hey, when we agree to this, that means everybody has agreed to this. And there cannot be, anybody, you can be fined or whatever, because they're going to have the freedom of being able to fine you or maybe not even play you, because medically they can say, well, we're not going to clear you if you're not going to wear the cap. You know what I'm saying? And that we're a long ways away from that, bro.
Yeah,
long ways away from that. This has to be, it's all by choice. And they've told you that over and over and over again. Everybody, oh, is he going to retire? Bro, it's up to him to retire. They have no control. They can't push his ass out, and they got to know now in the building that they can't trust him anymore. That's the worst part.
Well, and I'm with him on the choice to continue to play because, I mean, this is someone's livelihood. Like he lives for this game. So, it's what he's done growing up, just a love for the game. He's not, especially a concussion where he was symptom-free the very next day. You're not going to convince him that he's got to retire when he felt symptom-free that next day. So, with him on that, I really don't love it when people always have all those opinions about it. But especially with what he wants to do with his personal life. And this is another personal choice, but I think this is just a reasonable expectation. Just, hey, yeah, we don't have to take the game away from you. Just use this tool that could help you prevent concussions a little bit more, just that 10%. Maybe you don't get concussed when you ram into DeMar Hamlin. Now, also, he's got to do his own thing, like slide in those cases, or that play he could have dove to the ground, still make sure you get a first down, but you dive downward instead of
the interception
through a player.
The interception that he throws for pick 6, you're throwing it in the face of a behemoth that's about to land on you. Dude, cradle your ass into a ball and take the sack, dude. Take the sack. You opened yourself up in your body throwing, which you then can't throw over to the out of bounds. So now you threw a pick six and you put your body in a position to be absolutely crushed. Why? Because this is, I stand in the middle of what you guys are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because I'm the one that said when everybody wanted him to quit the first time, I'm the one that said, no, bro, no. He doesn't have to quit. What he has to do is learn how to get rid of the football. And I explained all his injuries were all between 3.85 and 5.1 seconds. I timed them all. His hip, his two ankles, the two concussions at that moment. I didn't add the third one with Buffalo because it wasn't one, so I didn't add it. Plus, that one wasn't actually about time because that one was just like a push that put him out of balance and it made him hit his head back, right? So that's different. But the other five that are injuries in his career were all between 3.85 and 5.1 second. I timed them all, okay? And I explained to everybody, all he has to do is learn how to get rid of the ball. What did he do the next year? He learned how to get rid of the football, and he lived fine because that's how Breeze did it. That's how Manning did it. That's how Brady did it. None of those guys can run. None of those guys take on tacklers. None of those guys are trying to be athletes because they're not, and neither is he. You got to learn to live in the pocket. Well, okay, so now you want to go run into people, and now you want to do stupid shit. That's when I say, yeah, you got to retire, bro. You got to retire. If you're going to play like Josh Allen, you need to retire because they're going to retire you anyway, dude. And they're going to retire you, and you're going to be all effed up, and you're not going to remember your family, and you're not going to remember your name, and you can't remember to get home like Jim McMahon because you're young, but Jim McMahon played like a linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a quarterback, and he played like a linebacker, and he was bigger and stronger and tougher. Not tougher in the sense that his body could take more punishment than Tua Tagovailoa's body could ever. And he ended up with CTE and dementia and all that kind of shit. And Jim McMahon now, sadly, is having a brutal end to his life. And so that's where I'm at with Tua. Okay, do you want to play smart? Dude, then play for the rest of your career. You can play 15 plus years like all these other statues that played. Marino couldn't run. Do you think Marino was chasing anybody after he threw an interception? No. Do you think Marino was taking on tacklers? No. Do you think Marino was trying to outrun anybody? No, dude. He was sidestepping, trying to buy himself just a flip of a second just so he can get the ball off, and that's it. That's all he ever did, and he played forever. This guy can do the same thing, so it's really up to him. If you want to play stupid, then I suggest you retire now. So that way you can, have a family and enjoy your family for the rest of your life. Now, if you want to play smart, then yeah, stay in the football. That's my message to him because I already declared it the first time around. Play smart, you can play forever.
Yeah.
You want to play stupid, I know how this story ends, dude. I've seen it with many other players. I'm old. I've watched this. I know how it ends. And I know how it ends for people like you that are small and tiny, and you think you can, go out there and take the pounding. So that's where, the Dolphins have to try to get a quarterback next year, no matter what. No matter what. They have no choice. They can win the Super Bowl, and they still have to go get a quarterback.
Yeah. Now, when you say that, are you saying like a quarterback to be your number one, or are you just saying like a top flight backup?
No, I'm not. I'm talking about you better get yourself a quarterback that has the potential of starting because he's going to start. So don't get a backup. What does a backup do, bro?
But a high-end backup that would suffice when he has to start 4 games because Tua goes on IR? Or
that's not. You need to find a starter. That's what a responsible franchise does right now. You don't have a long-term starter anymore.
Well, the Dolphins already have their money, but they have their money tied up into their long-term.
I don't know, but you better find one in the draft that you like, either at the top of the draft and you trade up for him, or in the middle rounds, in the second, third round, that you say, okay, this guy's a project, but we can work with him for the next couple of years. And by the way, look at the Green Bay Packers. They
drafted
they drafted and stewed and simmered Aaron Rodgers, and it worked out. Then they bought and simmered and stewed Jordan Love for a while, and it worked out. It's not the worst thing to go out and get a guy that you think has the potential to start, okay? And just in case Tua goes down, you are ready for something moving forward. If you're going to get a Band-Aid, bro, a Band-Aid means that you still got to go get another guy again. So you got to, if there's somebody in the draft you like, obviously, you got to like them too. But if you can get somebody, that's the responsible thing you do, because from here on out, you can't trust Tua.
Or like the Falcons went ahead and drafted Michael Penix, even though they just gave Kirk Cousins a big contract to come on over.
I just told you, maybe they looked at what Green Bay did and said,
Green Bay with Jordan Love.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It worked for both. It's worked fine for them. So maybe it's like, yo, dude, maybe this isn't the worst thing in the world. You know, that we give the kid some time. He gets to watch a pro for a couple of years. His body develops. His mind develops. We give him some games. We give him some time in blowouts. He dominates the entire preseason, all those kind of things. Matt Hasselbeck. Oh, by the way, nobody talks about this, but Matt Hasselbeck also did the same thing in Green Bay. Can you look it up for me? I want to say Matt Hasselbeck was the stud of the NFL for 2 years in the preseason, and he had monster preseasons. Then he filled in for Favre when he was out, and then
Favre wasn't out. Favre would never miss a game.
Not Favre, not like blowouts and stuff.
End of a game, yeah.
So Hasselbeck would come in. And if I remember correctly, if my mind is right, I believe Hasselbeck did that for like 2 years in Green Bay, and they ended up trading him for a first rounder to Seattle. So they also drafted,
Holmgren connection,
had
him in Green Bay,
and brewed him, and then sent him off, and he became a really good quarterback for Seattle. That they got to the Super Bowl. Matt Hasselbeck was an excellent quarterback,
exactly.
Overall in the NFL. I'm not going to say a Hall of Famer. I'm not going to say great one. But, dude, he's more than good enough to win a Super Bowl. Put it that way. Matt Hasselbeck is more than good enough to win a Super Bowl with if your team is good. So they also developed him, and Seattle and Holmgren took him over, and, the rest is history. So, it's not the worst thing in the world. While we're all, laughing at Atlanta, maybe they might have the last laugh, because maybe that's the way you should go back to doing these things.
Yeah, I would say plan A would be that, in hopes that Tua comes back and gets you into a better position than what it is right now, whether it's you do end up making the playoffs, that would be fantastic, or you win more games, but you just barely end up out of it because of this bad start. It kind of just puts you in too deep of a hole. Whatever the case may be, if Tua shows, all right, yeah, he's still obviously the man to run the offense, then maybe you do invest in a high-end backup in the future, which it could be like a Jimmy Garoppolo for this offense with his knowledge of it, that you put that face on. But I mean, he would work really well in the offense.
I know, but it's a Band-Aid, and I've seen the choker in the big moments already, bro. It's like I'm tired of watching his ass choke in big moments, and he's very injury prone. I'm thinking different than you. I'm thinking a young developmental kid that has potential to be a starter, a real star. I'm not you're thinking Band-Aid, bro. You're thinking Band-Aid. You and I are thinking a little different.
Well, that's plan A, but then with still an eye out for the draft, and if there is, and by the way, we just got the injury report, and Tua did in fact increase his participation to full, and Tyreek Hill popped up with a foot injury as well. He was limited today, so we won't know the extent.
He might be better off never talking shit. Every time he talks shit.
Oh, boy, you were just saying it, huh?
He never lives up to it. Yeah, every time he talks shit, he never lives up to it. I'm going to be the Kansas City Chiefs nightmare and all that. Yeah, you were a nightmare for your own team. So, yeah, it just happens all the time. But strike the band. We're all back. Bro, have you been watching your play? Come on, man. Just pipe down. You know, come on, let's go. Start actually like accomplishing things, and then maybe you can start talking. Beat some teams and start like coming through in the clutch and beat real quality teams. Come on, man. You know, I don't know. I'd rather him not talk much. You know what I'm saying?
But anyway, I would say. Sorry, you were going to finish out that.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I got distracted by the injury report popping up, but I would say that's my plan A, but with an eye toward the draft, and then that where if you do have a guy that you really like and you want to go ahead, bring him in, he's as long as Tua is healthy for the duration of this contract, he's your guy, but then in the event of another injury, he could be that guy, and then he could be someone that you develop for that point once Tua is, if indeed it's only this contract and he doesn't see another one with the Dolphins, then that I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if this year, going into this draft, if the Dolphins, let's say, are in a position where they could draft a guy of that caliber and they really like him, then maybe so.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you have to do it, bro. You have to do it. You have the injury report. How bad is the secondary?
Well, again, no Storm Duck and no Cater Kohu. We did see that from the practice viewing. We didn't see either one of them. So now I actually just wrote about this. Is Cam Smith going to come up and be that cornerback, right? Is it Cam Smith time if Jalen Ramsey moves inside and nickel packages and Cam Smith on the boundary? Anthony Weaver even mentioned him in playing the slot as one of the options there, along with maybe Javon Holland, assuming he returns this week in 3 safety sets. He could come down and play that. So some options there. So maybe Cam Smith, first week back off IR, ends up playing a pivotal role with 2 cornerbacks ailing right now.
All right. What do you got? You got them winning?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to say Dolphins 23, Cardinals 17. It's a have-to-have-it game for the Dolphins. You can't fall to 2-5 when you're going to Buffalo next. So I got them winning. I got the defense doing all right. Maybe James Conner touches up this run defense a little bit, but I like the defense to keep the score low. Tua fights off some rustiness, but has some moments. And Dolphins actually have their highest scoring game. 23 points would be their highest scoring output so far this season. And 1:00 kickoff at home. The Cardinals are on a short week. They just played on Monday night. They have the long travel going west to east for what's an early kickoff to them, 10 a.m. For their time zone. I like the Dolphins to take care of business at home.
And you're taking care of business because Bitcoin just crossed 68,000 during your conversation. So nice job by you, sir. Nice job by you. All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ and make sure you follow him on Twitter there and subscribe at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Welton Rheaume, call Jeff Welt. Daniel Rheaume, 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. So many of you are dealing with stuff with Milton and Helene. So if you've got the insurance companies that they are, screwing around and they're dragging their feet and they're not responding, you call Welton Rheaume. In fact, you should never call the insurance companies when something happens to you. You call Welton Rheaume first. They send their adjusters, and then they attack the insurance company for you. It's a beautiful thing. 954-966-4646. Consultation is completely free. Welt and Rheaume.
This has been another session of the Welton Rheaume Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rheaume can help.
By the way, don't forget, you got Thanksgiving coming up. You've got the holidays coming up. You've got the New Year's. You're going to invite people over. Call Cutter's Edge Pro, man. William Quigley and the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro. They can make your home just a beautiful place. So when people walk in, and maybe you haven't been keeping up with the landscaping, or maybe you need some landscaping, call my guys. Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, 954-472-0622. Tree trimming and removals, landscape design, outdoor lighting, irrigation design and build, synthetic turf. You see it all there. Call them. I've got 4 dogs, and the greatest invention ever has been artificial turf. We've been watching it in sports for years. You can have it in your backyard, and it looks phenomenal every day. Okay. You never have to cut the grass. You never have to water it. So you're actually saving money. It's paying off for itself in the long run. I've had it now for close to 3 years now, 2.5, 3 years now. I've never had to water the grass or cut it, and it looks phenomenal every day. And the dogs love it, and it's super clean. Okay. And I tell you all the time, call Cutter's Edge Pro. If you don't have landscaping, that can also save you money in your energy bills. You know, the more trees you add around your home, the more your home is cooler because the trees are absorbing all the heat. It's a beautiful thing. And the more you put in your backyard, the more shade you put, the more you'll hang out in your backyard. You're paying for mortgage for the entire house and the backyard. But it's so hot, you're rarely out there. Put a bunch of trees out there, put some landscaping, make it more of an oasis, put some shade. You're going to see yourself out there with your animals, like we do with our dogs. You'll be barbecuing, watching games, all that kind of stuff, because it's like 15 degrees, cooler. It's a beautiful thing. Call my friends at Cutter's Edge Pro. Expect excellence, and trust me, that's exactly what you're going to get. William Quigley and the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro. 954-472-0622. Let's see. Steelers were smart and bought. The Steelers, they got themselves a young project in Fields. I like Fields' mental makeup. I love his athleticism. His accuracy is the one thing that I don't trust. And it's something that's always going to be a problem for him. You know what I mean? When I look at Jaden Daniels, I see a guy that's not a super athlete. He's a decent athlete, but he's a passer. So I have more hope for a guy like that. Some of these guys that are athletes, it's the game of quarterback. There's a skill to it. It's not just athleticism. There's a skill that depth perception is not a athletic gift. It's a skill that you have. It's something that a lot of people don't have it, man. It's just kind of the way it is. Touch on passes. Everybody, you'll see guys that can throw the ball and they can throw it hard as hell, but they have no idea where the baseball's going or the football's going or whatever. They're super athletic and they're strong and they can just jack the ball or they can throw a baseball really hard. But it's like in Major League when the big goofus is on the mound and he's throwing and he's breaking everything inside and it's all over the place. Stuff like that. And then you got to kind of fine tune it. Well, some people can fine tune it. Most never can. I don't know if Fields can, but I do love that they went and tried to do at least that. They tried with Pickett. They're trying. Okay. Now the Steelers have had their luck for many years with really good quarterbacks. Sometimes you go into a rut where you don't find one. And right now they're kind of in that rut after the rapist. I'm sorry, Ben Roethlisberger retired. Jermaine says if the Dolphins were smart, they would draft a QB like Penix Jr. that can actually play if Tua goes down. That's what you got to do now. I can understand not doing it until last year. But now that Tua has proven to you that he can't be trusted, because that's what Tua has told all of us now. I cannot be trusted. I'm going to play reckless. And he talked shit on the podium. Oh, I know I got to be more available. Yeah, bro, when I see you do it, then I believe it. Now I don't trust you anymore. I love you. I believe in your ability, but now I don't trust you anymore because you get blinded and all of a sudden you think you're some athlete or some shit. So I don't trust Tua anymore. It's sad to say, but it's the reality. I don't trust them anymore. True Fin fan, you are correct. Flo did say a lot of ums. Yes. Another guy that was thinking a whole ton before saying anything. You are correct, sir. Go ahead.
I feel like his ums, though, were more to
evil ums.
No, well, yeah, to protect what he was going to say, because again, he was from the Patriots. They don't say anything.
Yeah,
Whereas,
evil ums.
Yeah, McDaniel is just
he's trying to do love ums.
Yes,
because
love-ums.
because it's
Love-ums.
just everything's positive, so he's trying to craft everything. Whereas Flo was, how can I least tell these son of a bitches anything? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what it is. Right. No. Flo was trying to craft it directly, bluntly, and terribly as much as he could. And then McDaniel's trying to put lipstick on a pig. No, but really, no, it can dance, the pig. No, really, no, seriously, it can jump over the moon. It does it. It's such a sweet pig. Yes, this one doesn't roll in shit. No. It knows how to use the porta potty. So yeah, it's two different type of folks. Dave Militix says, my son and I are coming from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania area to see the Canes on Saturday and the Fins on Sunday. Well, I know you're going to have a great Saturday. I don't know about Sunday. I'm hoping, you're not really playing an explosive offense in Arizona, as we talk about it all the time. Let's hope that Miami wakes up, my brother. I hope you and your son have a great weekend. Yeah, either way, you'll be here in South Florida. You'll have a great weekend. The stadium's fantastic and all of that. So you're going to enjoy yourself, and hopefully you'll enjoy 2 wins. I feel good about the Canes. I feel really good about the Canes, even though it's a rivalry game, and that's always dangerous. But I think this Miami team is good enough to pull off the victory. Okay. Pat in Nashville says Flo's ums were grums. We need a QB that can compete for the starting role. Yeah, there's no compete when your quarterback is elite, Frankie. You just got to develop the next guy. And then if your top guy goes down, it's not an open competition, Frankie. Tua's problem is not that he can't play, it's that he's not available. Let's not lose sight of what needs to be done. You need to protect yourself because you drafted a guy that is injury prone and now decides to be irresponsible with his body too at the same time, which is like a double whammy. Like, wow, you're injury prone. Now you want to put yourself in the face of more injuries. I don't know where that makes any kind of logic or there's any intelligence for Tua in that sense. That's the part that's really kind of frustrating. Let's see. Sports, unfortunately, don't change their rules until someone dies, like boxing, Dooku Kim. I know you put Duke, but it's Dooku Kim. I know. And boxing changed from 15 rounds to 12. NFL needs to mandate the Guardian cap. Yeah. Or make the Guardian cap already part of the helmet. So when they put on the helmet, it comes with the Guardian cap. And they don't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you're going to have to do. But you are correct, Edward Thurston Howell. They don't do anything until it's too late. They're not proactive about it. They're reactive about it. You are right about that. The Miami Heat lost last night. On a night where they honored Pat Riley by naming the court for Pat Riley, which, it's understandable. And they lost 116-97 to the Orlando Magic. Orlando looked like the better team. They look like they have the young stars that Miami does not. Jimmy Butler looks like an old, worn-out star, like what he is. And so it'll be interesting to see how he handles life from here on out. Right? But I told you that I mentioned, I don't know, was it last week when I don't know if you made it a rant, that the message was sent to Jimmy Butler that, hey, they're going to go all out here this year. They want you to play a lot of games. If they're going to pay you, they want you to make that commitment. Remember we talked about that? Yeah, with Ira, right? Well, yeah, it was in one of Ira's conversations. We talked about that. Did you see what happened last night? They're playing like a high tempo type of game, which is really not Jimmy's game. So you want him to play a lot of games, and you want him to play more of a high tempo game. Are you also sending a signal? Hey, man, we're done doing it your way. This is the way we need to get it done. This is the way the league, which is true, which is the way the league play. You can't go back to the prodding offense and pray that you play incredible defense to limit the more explosive offenses in today's NBA all year long. I totally understand what they're doing. They're playing to the strengths of their young players, not to the strength of their star. Or, I'm sorry, aging star, worn out star. And the worn out star didn't look like he felt in place. Didn't think like he could really hang, because he can't hang in this kind of game because it's not his game. Are the Heat running Jimmy Butler off the court and off the franchise? That's the story within the story. The lazy one is easy to look at. It was a terrible game and a terrible performance. But I want you to keep thinking about the messages that have been sent from Riley in the offseason to talking with Spo, hearing him talk about how he wants his guys out there and he needs his stars playing a lot of minutes and he needs his team out there and, proving it. And from Tyler being fragile to Jimmy having to play more games, the message has been sent. So yesterday, what I saw was that moving forward, Eric Spoelstra said, this is how we need to play in this league. And I need players that can play like this in this league. So, Jimmy, if you could give me 20 minutes like this, then great. If you can't give me 30 or 40, well, and hey, man, it's going to be a long season for you. And I guess you're only going to pick up your option because you're not getting an extension here. So it'll be very interesting to see the clashes of this offense if you're going to continue to play this way. And if you do, how does Jimmy adjust to this? Or does Jimmy win in the battle of slowing down the offense and hurting the team in the process? Because we've watched the results for 2 years in a row. And I watch the results as we're old here and we have perspective. And Pat Riley had it going on with Anthony Mason. And they responded like champs, dude. Zoe goes down with the kidney ailment coming back from the Olympics. We think the season's over. They go and make a move for Anthony Mason, who's frustrated in New York because that place is a shithole. They bring him in. They run the offense through him. They're on their way to 50 games. They're playing great. And Zoe wants to come back at the end of the season. And what does Riley do? He inserts him right into the offense right away. And he kills the offense. Because it goes from a speeding, more faster pace offense back down to the half-court offense, inside-outside game with Zoe. And it killed the momentum of that team, and it hurt them going right into the playoffs, and they were gone, and you lost Mason too at the same time mentally, because after he came in and he killed the momentum. So will Butler kill his own team's momentum because this is the way they want to play. That's what I read into that game last night. I bet you nobody told you that. I bet you nobody talked about that. I bet you nobody saw that until now. And then you're going to go, oh, wait a minute. We're on to something here. A clash. I don't know if the Titans or whatever, but I'm interested to see, can Butler adjust to this kind of high-paced offense? Is the Heat sending a message? But hey, bro, things are different. We're not going to run that bullshit offense and run our season into the 8th and 9th seed and 10th seed. We're not doing that, bro. We need to run, baby. Run. And can Jimmy run? Because he looked like a man that had the runs yesterday. Nice job on opening night. And so, interesting. They got Charlotte on Saturday. We'll see what happens on Charlotte. We'll see how they play. What else do we have here? Heat last in points, last in rebounds. Well, I mean, I'm not going through early. Well, they were terrible last year, but, it's one game. But I just kind of have been watching a trend from the offseason till now, and there's another game being played behind the scenes. Jermaine says, Big O, I think Jimmy's last season with the Heat. Pat Riley calling him out in the media and them not giving him a contract was very telling. Well, he doesn't deserve a contract. I wouldn't give him a contract. I would have traded him 2 years ago, dude. I'm on record with that. I would have traded his ass 2 years ago. Too bad we need much more than a reliable backup QB or even a healthy Tua. We need wholesale changes in the trenches first. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue, Brett, that you might need to improve some stuff in the trenches, but the quarterback spot has to be addressed because, unfortunately, you cannot trust the kid anymore. He's not even willing to take care of himself. Get old man Jimmy out of the post, then off the team ASAP. Jaquez jumps over Shaq. Jimmy has been done. Well, yeah, but it's Lewis. It's too late now. So many were probably Lewis. You were probably one of the ones fighting me 2 years ago. You probably weren't even here on the chat board on the show 2 years ago. But 2 years ago, boy, I got a lot of shit about trading Jimmy Butler. A ton. Just like I got a lot of shit about trading X. Same thing. Anyway. And I'm getting some stuff because of the Cam Ward also. Okay. I'll take the Bulls Rodman days on defense to slow this down again. It'll take. Oh, yeah. I don't even know if that's going to save you at this point. They don't have enough three-point shooting, dude. You didn't watch the game yesterday, right? I don't blame you, dude. Yeah. I don't know if it was by choice. I don't know if you don't have the what's that called? The the FanDuel Sports Network or whatever. But you did good. I remember when Zoe came back, we got swept by Jamal Mashburn's led Charlotte Hornets. Yeah. The shot that hung around the rim a little bit. Yeah. Reminded me of the Houston thing too. Yeah, too bad Spo doesn't coach football. You're right about that. The Heat needs to stop trading their draft picks and get younger. Yeah, and they need to do that for several years now in order to get that cycle back. That's the problem. The great Michelle Kaufman is ready to go. All right. Inter Miami, 8:30 tomorrow night, Chase Stadium. They will host Atlanta United, and the great Michelle Kaufman is ready to join us to talk a little football.
Here I am with the Captain Messi action figure.
I love that.
The guy is cashing in like nobody's business in every way. Not only it was announced today, the new salary list came out. Not a huge surprise that he is the leading, highest paid player in MLS history by a lot, $20 million guaranteed compensation, but also that his salary alone is more than 22 of the teams in the league combined. So, and that's just his money. That's just his salary. That does not include
everything
in the
else.
past few weeks. You can see a little action figure from Hard Rock. In the past 3 weeks, the man has launched a cologne. Okay, there's a cologne available at JCPenney for $80.
Michelob.
He also has a sneaker, a new signature sneaker with Adidas with Bad Bunny. It's a Bad Bunny / Messi Adidas sneaker. There's a TikTok cam for the game tomorrow night. You can watch on live stream. The game will be seen if you watch on the TikTok stream. The game will be entirely in Messi's perspective somehow with some TikTok Messi cam. And then, I mean, he's everywhere. Lay's potato chips, Michelob Ultra. The man is everywhere. And
by the way, he delivers.
On the field, 2 back-to-back hat tricks in the span of 5 days. So let's review for a minute as Tata Martino always starts his press conference by saying, a ver, like, let's see, let's review. So Argentina, he's playing for Argentina against Bolivia. Oh my God, hold on one second. Dave didn't let the dog out. Hold on.
Who let the dogs out? Woof. Woof,
well,
woof,
Dave
woof,
did
woof.
not. Dave did not let the dogs out.
Woof,
Woof. So
okay.
Michelle had to let the dog out. Anyway, so on Tuesday, he's playing for Argentina and scores a hat trick against Bolivia, and then flies home, and 4 days later comes in the 57th minute. The place goes crazy because he's sitting. When he finally goes and runs to the corner flag to start warming up, everyone goes nuts. He goes in the 57th minute. His very first touch, the first time his foot touched the ball, he curls a little pass to Jordi Alba, who then sends it to Kramaski for the go-ahead goal. They were tied 2-2 at that point after heroics by Luis Suarez, another one who at 37 is turning back the clock. And then, so Messi sets the goal up, sets that goal up, and then proceeds to score a hat trick in 11 minutes. I will repeat, over the span of 11 minutes, Beautiful. The man scored his second hat trick in 5 days. He's 37 years old. He's delivering on and off the field. And so this little action figure is called Captain Messi. And, he loves superhero movies with his kids, and he does the superhero celebrations. He is really playing like a real life superhero.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
There's no way around it. Yeah.
I mean, it is an absolute pleasure to watch. And I love how it's trickled down to everybody else. It's infectious. It gives everybody else incredible confidence. And when they were gone for international play, the team really grew up, during that time. This has been just an absolutely magical season. And, you started to talk about how the salaries and how Messi is getting paid a lot of money. We also got to be pretty grateful that the Moss family is willing to do anything, absolutely anything, to win. And if that hasn't been proven yet, I don't know what more proof you need with Miami Freedom Park coming, with what they've done already in
also
Fort
the
Lauderdale.
Salaries, the overall salary. The Inter Miami payroll is around $42 million, which is double all but, I believe, 5 teams or so. It's like double the payroll of all but 5 teams or something like that in the league. They are definitely putting their money where their mouth is. They said they wanted to compete for championships. They wanted to compete for titles. They're in their 5th year now, and they are spending the cash. They're spending the money to do it. And now they're building the stadium in Miami, but they're also spending the money on the players,
Right.
and it's a very complicated salary structure that MLS has. But with Chris Henderson there, who understands all the intricacies of that salary structure, they have been able to put together a roster of not only, the big four, the Beatles from, not the only the Mount Rushmore of Messi, Suarez, Busquets, and Alba, but also the younger players that A, they've brought from South America, and B, that they've developed. Yannick Bright, Ben Hakremaski, David Ruiz, Ian Frey, Noah Allen. These are all guys that have been developed here, young players who have been developed here.
Calendar.
Drake Callender came up from the second team. Drake Callender was a draft pick and came up from he was played for the second team, finally got a break when the other goalkeeper got injured. He got to go in and he played so well that he kept the starting job. Nick Marsman, he replaced him and never looked back. So, yeah, I mean, they have done a really commendable job of yes, bringing in stars that everybody talks about, but also that there's a lot of youth on that team and players who have been developed within this club. So there's a real balance. There's a real balance of youth and of experience. And Tata, to his credit also, has managed to blend global superstars with local teenagers on the same team and make them all feel important and make them all feel valuable and not have a divided locker room where players are resentful. You look at even a guy like Leo Campana, this guy, poor guy, he would be starting for most MLS teams. Okay. He was on the Ecuadorian national team for this last World Cup qualifiers. He was the leading scorer until this past weekend, of all time for Inter Miami. And yet he's behind Suarez. Suarez is the starter and he's the backup, and he still has a good attitude. And when he comes in, he does what he can, but he's not griping. He's not moping. There's nobody moping on that team. Everybody seems to buy into the idea that, hey, we are fortunate to be playing with the Mount Rushmore here. Yeah. And we're going to do whatever we can. And when they're not there, we're going to step in and try to make them proud. These players want to make those guys proud. And by the way, those guys are serving as mentors. All the young guys talk about it, that Busquets and Alba and Suarez and Messi are mentors to them and give them tips and stay with them after practice and explain things to them. And Yannick Bright has talked a lot about Sergio Busquets because they play the same position. And Yannick Bright was coming out of University of New Hampshire, okay? Comes here as a draft pick. Now he's starting. He's playing the same position as Boosie. And he said that Boosie will come up to him even during games, or he'll go up to him, or Boosie will come up to him and say, hey, on that last play, you should have done this instead of that. Or instead of passing from here, you should have done 2 more dribbles and then pass from there. He's like coaching on the field. He's like another coach on the field for these young players. And, it's really, it's really working. Let's put it that way. They just broke the all-time record, the best record of all time in Major League Soccer, 74 points.
That is amazing. And credit to Inter Miami and their culture also with Campana, because you could have easily gotten frustrated with Campana in his first couple of years because he couldn't stay on the field, even though he showed you a lot of potential. He kept getting injured, and now he's getting less injured because now he's kind of figured out his body. And so they were patient with him early on in his development. They stayed, just like Robbie Robinson, who really doesn't deserve any more, patience. And they gave him more than enough patience and more than enough time, to develop. So credit to Inter Miami. They gave him time. They were patient with Campana. They have now also rewarded him with a contract too at the same time. Right. So he has a great relationship in that sense that they have backed him all the way. And he's got to know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I got to do this maybe another year, maybe 2. And then after that, I'm the guy, from here on out. And everybody knows him too now. So the Inter Miami culture is also gravitating to Campana. So I think, you're going to need a star after Messi. You're going to need a couple of people after Messi and Suarez are gone. And, Campana is that guy that you really are maturing into that position for a long time to come.
Oh, no, I agree with that. But I also think that the Mas brothers and David Beckham, once these superstars go, they are going to invest in more superstars.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they want to develop these players that they have, but they are proving that they are bold, and they will go to Europe and bring over whoever the new stars are that are looking to have a change and come to MLS. They're going to pay the big bucks. They are going to invest the money. And by the way, Messi, part of his deal with Inter Miami is that he has equity in the team upon retirement. So in 2026, for example, his contract goes through 25 with an option for 26. So maybe he'll play 26. If he does or if he doesn't, he's going to become part owner of this team when he's done. And believe me, when you have your two of the part owners are Lionel Messi and David Beckham, those are big names, and they're going to attract top talent from Europe who are going to be like, hey, if this league was good enough for Messi, Busquets, Alba, and Suarez, it is good enough for me. And if Lionel Messi and David Beckham are going to be my bosses, I am going to go give this a try. So
the only thing, and I know there'll be an element of that, but I would only make it an element. At least this is the way I would look at it, and this is just me. Okay, Messi is a different monster.
There's no one like him.
Right. The next guy you bring will not bring that kind of craziness. And I think it's imperative that Inter Miami develops from within a couple of faces that become stars here that people can grow up with, that a generation can grow up with. Because, a couple of months back when Messi was playing in a game and there were thousands of seats available, and it was fresh off from when he was back, and nobody knew that he was back. And that's because remember, I sent you a text. I still wish we had more of a buzz for what's going on, because what's gone on is simply amazing, dude.
It is. And if it were in any other sport, I know. If it were any other sport in Miami, everyone would be all over it.
Yeah.
And they're not. And they're not all over it.
And we're a Messi fan team. We're not really an Inter Miami fan team. And I think in order for us to develop the Inter Miami fan base, I think you need to have a couple of those kids. Calendar's one of those guys, but you're going to need a scorer. You're going to need somebody, a star. And you're going to need a guy that can be here, can relate to the town, can talk the language and all that English and Spanish, and can do it for the next 10, 15 years, like a Campana who's young enough to play for you for 10 years. You're going to need somebody like that, man, so you can have those kind of jerseys. Because if you're going to play the mercenary role of the superstar, of the aging superstar coming for 2 or 3 years, I don't know if you'll sell tickets, but I don't know if it'll stick the way you want it to stick, like in Portland and in Seattle, that it becomes a culture like in LA. That's what we want here. That's what the Southern Legion wants. And that's what Vice City and all these kind of guys and gals that are part of, that's what they wanted to be a part of. You know what I mean? And that's the element that we're missing. We're missing that.
Yeah, building a real fan base, building building a strong, loyal Inter Miami fan base that was here before Messi got here, and that's going to be here after Messi, like me, like the beat writer. This beat writer and you, we were here long before Messi. We were here with the Miami Fusion and every incarnation of soccer that's been in this market for the last 25 or 30 years.
Right.
We have been covering it. We know about it. We report about it. And we're not just here for the Messi show. Yes, the Messi show is fun. Yes, I got to go to the kickoff of the at the Hard Rock of this.
The Ray Hudson show was marvelous, baby.
Yes,
Come on.
yes.
You and I had way more fun watching the Fusion go to the Western Conference Finals than this. Here we're marveled with this, but we were way more connected with that because we got to connect with all the players and the coaches like we don't do now, unfortunately.
No, it's very different now. But it is something to behold, to be able to see Messi up close, to see that he really is all that. He is all that. And anyone who can score 2 hat tricks in the span of 5 days, one of them in a World Cup qualifier and another one in a league game, that was in the season finale where there was pressure and they were, losing and then tied, and he comes in and scores 3 like nothing. He's really something to watch, and it's special for people in this market to be able to just go to that little stadium and be able to watch the greatest player of all time up close. It's a special time, and when he retires, it's going to be a different team. And also, the other 3, I mean, they're kind of like a package deal. The 4 guys, they're all buddies. Their wives are all buddies. All their little kids are running around together. It's like, it's like a little camp that he has formed over here with his buddies and their wives and the kids. And when that whole little group goes away, Inter Miami will be opening its new stadium in Miami, and they're going to need to have fans be super excited and not be depressed that Messi and friends are departing. That can't be the vibe. The vibe can't be like, oh shoot, they're getting a new stadium, but Messi's leaving, Boussy's leaving, Alba's leaving, Suarez is leaving.
Right.
They need to build, like you said, in addition to those guys. I agree with that.
I think it's very important. All right. The other thing, Atlanta's been a pain in the ass for Miami this year.
Thorn in their side. So Miami has played 34 games. They've only lost 4. Out of 34 games this year, they have lost exactly 4 games. One of them was to Atlanta United, 3-1 at home with Messi on the field. This was not a Messi absent game. No. This was a Messi was their game. Messi played in that game. Yep. They lost 3-1 at home. Then on the road, they tied 2-2 in September. Now that game, I will say, Inter Miami started only 3. Tata started only 3 regular starters in that game for various reasons. And then they came in late in the game. Tata himself was suspended in that game. He watched the game from a suite.
Oh, that's right.
He was suspended for yellow cards. So it was not really the full Inter Miami team. And they were winning 2-1. And then Atlanta scored a goal in the 84th minute. And, Miami was gutted at the end of that game. So, but the bottom line is they've played this team twice. And they have 0 wins. They have not beaten this team this year. They have a loss, 3-1, and a 2-2 tie. So, and Atlanta, by the way, is super fired up because this is a team that was not supposed to be in the playoffs. They were struggling. They had to win their season finale, and 2 other results had to happen for them to even get into the wild card game. And guess what? All of those scenarios happened. They get into the wild card game. They go to Montreal on the road. Joseph Martinez, who was their former star on the Atlanta United championship team of 2018 that Tata was the coach of, Joseph Martinez was the star, the MVP of that tournament. He is now in Montreal. He scored 2 goals against Atlanta Tuesday night, and it looked like Montreal's going to go through. And guess what? Atlanta ties it up. It goes into PK shootout. And Atlanta squeaks in to the playoffs. So they are on a really good run right now of three victories in a row. They're super fired up. They're kind of like, the underdog team that no one is expecting, and they're all excited. And now they're coming to play the superstars of Miami against Tata Martino, the coach who led their team to the MLS Cup. I mean, there's a lot going on with this. It is the best of 3 series. Only in the first round, it's best of 3. After that, it's single elimination. So, there is a bit of a margin for error, which Tata talked about today, that, it's not a do or die game, but, you obviously want to get off on a good foot. But Atlanta it's not going to be, it doesn't look like it's going to be an easy series by any means.
No, of course not. No, of course, definitely not. And why would it be an easy series when you're talking about? I mean, they made the playoffs, and somehow or another they've given Miami, trouble. So that's a nice wake up call, actually, to go into the playoffs, for them. The other thing I wanted to ask you before I let you go, just in case they make it to the finals, no chance it's at Hard Rock.
No, I mean, as far as I know, all the games are going to be at Chase Stadium.
Okay.
I've heard nothing about Hard Rock. I'll let you know if I hear different. As of now, all the games will be at Chase Stadium, other than game 2 of the first round, which will be in Atlanta. Everything else will be at Chase Stadium, including the final.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Follow her on Twitter at Kauf Sports, and please subscribe to the Miami Herald. And
Yes, please subscribe.
Yes, support.
Here's
Michelle.
Mr. Messi. Here's the superhero.
Yes, there it is. Where's the superhero again? There we go. Nice. Is that the same one? Or you had it the other way?
The same little guy. No,
Okay,
it's the same guy. It's just he's movable. Look, he bends. He can move around. You can move him all around. You can get him for free if you get a kids meal at Hard Rock. They're giving these little guys away. They also have, of course, I mean, when I was talking about cashing in, there are Captain Messi lunch boxes, Captain Messi thermoses, Captain Messi backpacks, Captain Messi t-shirts. So the guy is rolling in the dough. In the dough.
No.
Yep.
And if they wanted to market worldwide in a depressing way, I have to say this, but it shows you where they're at already. I'm looking at some of the international news, and there's some displaced kids from a war site out in the Middle East, and they're showing them all hanging around. One of them is wearing an Inter Miami Messi jersey.
Really? Yeah, I believe it. The reach for this team is unbelievable. I just, I have a podcast also, Inside Inter Miami, and I got a comment and a follower on Twitter from someone who's following the podcast and who's following me now on Twitter. He is a presidential candidate in Namibia. I'm what? A presidential candidate in the country of Namibia who has like 200,000 Twitter followers. He's reading Michelle Kaufman's Inter Miami Stories coverage on the Miami Herald. It's unbelievable the reach that this guy has.
Yes.
It's incredible. It's at every corner. I've gotten texts and emails, not texts, but emails and DMs from fans of his from places like Gabon, New Zealand, Sri Lanka, Hungary, you name it. I mean, all over Europe, Asia, Africa, all over the place. He's global.
Yeah,
he has 502 million Instagram followers. That's 500 million people are following this man. That is why, yes, it should be a bigger deal in Miami that a guy with 500 million followers is living and playing right here in our midst.
If there's 8 billion in the world, he has like
500 million.
It's 500 million, yeah, but I'm trying to think of what the percentage would be. It's
1/8.
It's about
Something
12 to about 11, 12, no. But yeah, about almost 12% of the world follows him on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's nuts. It's crazy.
That's impressive.
It's una locura is what it is. It's una locura. It's a circus. It's crazy, but here we are. And I'm covering it every day. So
good for you.
Want to read about him? Call me, read my stuff.
That's
Follow me on Twitter, and let's see what happens for the next part of this ride, the rest of this season.
I'll be the one that calls her to get her on the show, so we can talk about
it. There you go. You call me, and then I'll be on the show. There you go.
Michelle, enjoy the game tomorrow. I'm hoping to enjoy a big win tomorrow. Appreciate you.
Thank you. All right, take care. Thanks for having me. Always.
Always a pleasure. Thank you. There you go, the great Michelle Kaufman, as Inter Miami gets ready to host Atlanta at Chase Stadium. R&M Contractors, Ray and Mike, they do excellent work. Dade and Broward County, complete remodel. I mean, full-blown remodel if you need it. Call them. By the way, Ray's a big Bitcoin guy, loves Bitcoin. And in South Florida, you need waterproofing for your terrace, for your balcony, a flood test report, all those kind of things. Very important. R&M Contractors and Custom Drywall. They can do it for you. Floor restorations, maintenance, interior, exterior paint. They do it all. Drywall, level 5 finish. They also take care of custom homes. And on top of all of that, condos too. So if you need some help with your condo, reach out to Ray. 305-345-3649. That's 305-345-3649 for R&M Contractors and Custom Drywall. All right. Big O, doesn't Messi also make a percentage of Apple? Yes, he does. He gets a percentage of Apple and all kinds of stuff. He's making hand over fist, bro. He's probably making $150 million a year when it's all said and done. The guys, you're never going to get anything like that in this town again. It's once in a lifetime. Enjoy it. It's kind of like when we had the big three, except this is bigger than the big three. It's one of those things that happens once in a lifetime, and enjoy it. And this is why I say that we don't have the vibe that we should for this. Because if we did, it'd be a lot crazier in this town. And they deserve it, bro. The Moss family deserves it first and foremost, because what they've done, few owners would ever do. Ever. Nobody builds a stadium for fun in Fort Lauderdale. Nobody does that shit. They would have played somewhere temporary or something for a couple of years and suck it up. Nobody does what they did. And then I know that whatever they build in Miami Freedom Park is going to be incredible. You know, it's going to be something you're going to marvel at all the time, because that's what they do. So I'm not surprised, but I wish they would get more love. I got to say. Captain Saki out in Tarpon Springs. Frankie says, I think the new stadium will gravitate more local. Well, you'll have more winning leading into it. So that'll help. You know, you're now breeding the winning. So it's different. You weren't really winning in the first couple of years. Now you're coming off a Leagues Cup last year, and now you're the number one team. You won the Supporter Shield, and now you're in the playoffs as the number one seed. So all of these things, and if you win the MLS Cup and then you come back to defend it and all that, that builds incredible momentum for the new stadium. That's it. It couldn't be more perfect for the Moss brothers. Okay? For it to work out this way. On Jimmy, I want to get rid of him. Then he shows up in the playoffs. I don't know what to think. Yeah, well, it's not going to pay off. I just think that we've been fooled by the overachieving that's happened the last couple of years. And somehow you think the overachieving is the norm, and it wasn't. It was the freak. It wasn't the norm. And that's where I think we're kind of, some of us, not me, but some of us are lying to ourselves of what we saw. And we think that it's actually like legit, when no, it was just a team that, you know, played their asses off, and they happened to overachieve. And in overachieving, they got really far in the bubble, and then they made another long trip, you know, when, okay, Embiid was injured and Giannis was injured. You know, just I don't think this team is as good as the production of the last couple of years. I think it's just a team that overachieved, had great coaching, and that's why. I think some of us give them too much credit. And in return, you're expecting that to be the norm. And I think you're kind of lying to yourself in the process. Big O, Michelle Kaufman, do you remember the Miami Toros? Oh, she's not on anymore, but I'm sure she does, because she's a Miami person like me. So, yeah, of course. I remember the Gatos and the Toros. I was a kid back in the 70s. Yes. We had the Gatos for a short time and then the Toros for a couple of years. Then we got the Strikers after that. Let's see what else. I just purchased the McFarlane Tua action figure. I'm going to tape a cotton ball to his helmet for luck. Okay. Happy Thursday, everyone. You Canes fans scared for this home game against my Knowles yet? Says No Doubt. Yeah, No Doubt. I think they're probably really nervous. Don't forget, folks, remember you can always make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo. You can visit our amazing sponsors. You can hit the like button, right? You can also make a donation, Cash App or Venmo. You can use the QR codes there to make a donation for Cash App or Venmo, or, of course, Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show at Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin donation, which Bitcoin's at 68,212. Trying to make a little pump up to 69,000. Solana is up over $177. Solana is climbing. If you got it down when it hit like 134, 136, 138, 142, you're loving life right now. If you bought it when it went all the way down to 10, 12 bucks, you're really loving life right now. All depends what dip you took advantage of, right? That's all that matters. What dip? Frankie says he'll be a Knoll this weekend in spirit. Big on the topic the other day of concussions. Do you remember Mark Kelso? Yeah, of course, with the Bills and the big helmet, the great Gazoo. Safety of the Buffalo Bills. He had early concussions, but had a long career because he wore an oversized helmet. Yeah, he wore a shell on top of a shell. It was a shell glued on top of a shell. So he looked like the great Gazoo. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. So that was my my nickname for Mark Kelso, the great Gazoo. Kudos to him, dude. And he was a phenomenal special teams player. Jesus. He was a Hall of Fame special teams player. He was a pain in the ass on special teams. Who made the tackle? Mark Kelso. Who was on that play? Mark Kelso. All the damn time. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar and the great Alan Blanco. 786-618-1443, custom printing and embroidery. Magic over the Heat, 116-97. Butler, a whole 3 points in 26 minutes. 1 of 8 shooting, 0 of 10. Whew. Saturday, they're in Charlotte, 7 o'clock. Friday, Inter Miami will host Atlanta, 8:30. Tonight, 7 o'clock, Panthers at the Rangers. And the Rangers, favored by a goal and a half. It's plus 170. If you want plus 1.5 goal for the Panthers, minus 205. Now, if you want to take the Panthers straight up on the money line on the road against the Rangers, plus 130. I kind of like that coming off the ass kicking. I kind of like that. This is the kind of game that the Panthers would bounce back and win. Plus 130. You got to take the Rangers minus 155 on the money line. Kind of like the Panthers. I think I'm going to lean to the Panthers on this one. Saturday, by the way, FSU and UM. And UM is favored by 21 points. The over and under is 54.5. What do you think about that one? I'm not laying the 21 on a rival game. And plus, with that defense, there's no way I'm doing that. The over could be a play because with that defense, oh yeah, it is bad. Yeah, but they have the perfect matchup, a really bad defense. Well, that's true. They're not a good passing team. They aren't a good passing team. Thursday, 8:15 tonight, Minnesota visiting the Rams. And the live line right now, Vikings are favored by 3. The over and under is 47.5. Vikings minus 155 on the money line. The Rams plus 130 on the money line. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. Hey, do me a favor. Let me we started at 3, dude. I've talked for 2 straight hours. Haven't taken a break. Give me 2 minutes to rest the voice. Drink some water here. 2 minutos right here on the Big O Radio Show live from Hialeah Park. So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, CuttersEdgePro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The 2 dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. Gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other, and then they bite each other, and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. CuttersEdgePro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvietto's Awards and more. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at Orvietto'sAwards.com. Orvietto's Awards and more, where recognition is rewarding. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Thank you all, as always. Appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please smash the hell out of the like button. Very important to smash the like button. It's also very important that Bitcoin continues to pump. It is at 68,400 right now. Loving it. Up 3%. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good thing, man. That's a good thing. We're, I thought we would hit 70 this week. Let's see if it happens by tomorrow. If we hit to 70, but it's coiling. It's coiling. Ooh, baby. It is about to bust to all new highs. And then once that opens it up, it starts opening it up for all the altcoins. Things like Star Atlas. Not that I'm a financial advisor by any stretch or anything like that, but you know. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. We got the Dolphins and the Cards on Sunday at 1 o'clock. We'll have the pregame show for you and the postgame as always. So tune in. Those of you out there, I haven't read everything on the chat board, but every day it's fire this guy and fire that guy. And we'll tell you why it may not be the case. It may be how it could be the case, that is, for you in a few minutes. Because those of you who want, the McD man gone, there's a scenario for you that might make you happy and frustrated, too, at the same time. So we'll talk about that, too. What else do we have? We have the great Steve Calibro getting ready to join us. And he's going to have, I would imagine the Jersey guy has got some selections for us. You know what? Let me pull up the board, too. I got to pull up the betting board because I know he's going to bring that up in a few minutes. So we'll definitely talk about that. Let's see. Pump up the mic there, homeboy. What do we got? And the great Steve Calibro, General Mangler here. Is that General Mangler?
Mangler,
right?
yes.
Yes. Here at Hialeah Park.
Only in Hialeah we use that word. It's an offshoot of Spanglish.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And it's a perfect description of the job too at the same time. So how you feeling?
Fantastic. But I will tell you, I'm a little hesitant about this week going to the game.
Okay.
Tua.
Well, you got to be hesitant because he doesn't want to take care of himself. So, yeah, you got to be hesitant.
No, he wants to take care of himself. He just gets all excited and he does a dumb thing. I don't think he wants to get hurt, but he just is like, you got to be smarter. You got to be in.
But he should have known that already.
It's some people are slower learners.
The hip injury, the 2 ankle injuries. You want to know what a maniac that guy is? Okay, he blew out his ankle in Alabama, and then he tied a titanium rod to it when he repaired it. Then he blew out the other ankle, and he said, yeah, let's do that again so it doesn't happen anymore. That's who this psycho is.
I know, look.
And by the way, he had no effects of the concussion the next day.
Really? This concussion going on right now?
Yes, the next day. He had no effects, and that's why he was in Seattle the following week when we were in Seattle, and he was there. You don't travel 5.5 hours a week later if your head,
the travel
pressure and all that. Yeah, exactly. So that tells me that, not only does he get concussed easy, but the knucklehead actually, like, he's got a hard head. He's got a coconut head. Like, he recovers quickly.
Well,
so
listen,
that's a good sign.
In defense of him, look, I get it. He's making mistakes in terms of getting himself injured. I get it. But the problem is he's too much of a competitor, right?
Yes.
So he can't manage that. He's got to learn. He's a pro now. He's got to learn to manage that process. You got to be thinking all the time that I got to be able to get.
Marino was a competitor, and when he threw an interception, he's like, well, I'm not chasing that guy.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
At one point or another, that's the way you got to think.
I mean,
bro.
Tom Brady really didn't take too many hits the last 5 to 10 years.
He didn't take on any tacklers.
Yeah,
they did the quarterback sneak with him. That's the only thing. But he wasn't trying to outrun anybody. He wasn't trying to take on tacklers. And if you intercepted him, he wasn't going to go chase you down and shit.
But
which, by the way, we all want our quarterbacks to be like that. Actually, that's fine as long as you can live from the pocket. Now, if you're a running quarterback, you have no choice. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, whatever. Those guys have to run, so they're going to be They're going to be in danger no matter what. That's their game.
Yeah, and hopefully,
but that's not Tua's game.
No, and he's not built for that either.
That's not Joe Montana's game. That's not Drew Brees' game. That's not Peyton Manning's game. That's not Marino's game. Lots of quarterbacks are like that. But all those guys figured that shit out since they were in college.
He's a slow learner. It's a slow learner. Let's go with that. I got to tell you something. I'm just going to digress for a second. Does Sean have a date or something? He's all tight with the haircut. I mean, like, what do you got? You got a date or something?
He's got a Stanley Media House shirt and everything.
Looks like you're going, you got something. You're meeting somebody. You meet a girl after
like
that.
a dry fit Stanley Media.
Yeah, I think I smell some cologne on there. Yeah.
Scott, yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, it's anyhow. So the Jersey guy. Listen, the Jersey guy. I don't know. I guess he was pissed off on me or something. But this is what he said.
You didn't have a bad week last week,
no,
right?
No, he didn't. I think he was 2 for 3, right?
Yeah.
But I says, listen, you got to give me, what your picks are. This is what he writes back: Eagles, Dolphins, Bills. That's what he writes back. I mean, I don't even know what the point spreads are. I don't, what are you doing here? He's killing me.
Eagles, Dolphins, Bills.
Maybe he's getting a little, overconfident.
Well, let's go first with the Eagles. Okay. He's got the Bengals. So Bengals favored by 3 at home against the Eagles. The over and under is 48. Bengals, I believe, have won 2 in a row.
He's thinking that they can win. Now look.
So the Eagles +3.
Tough game.
Yeah, it's a tough game because the Eagles' offense is inconsistent.
So now, for full disclosure, the Jersey guy lives.
Yeah, I know.
15 miles from from Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Maybe 10 miles.
I might stay away from that one.
All right, so that might be a homer pick for him. The Dolphins. Well,
no, wait, Bills. We'll leave the Dolphins last.
All right, Bills.
The Bills are -3 at Seattle. Over and unders 47. I can see that one. I like that one.
I like that one a lot. I think the Bills,
like that one.
Yeah, I think the Bills are going to win. I
like that one. That one I do like that one. The Eagles one, I just can't trust their offense.
Well, don't worry. Sirianni's going to, it's not his fault. It's the offensive coordinator's fault.
Right. Well, yeah.
And then he'll try to get that offensive coordinator fired next year.
Who? What did he do? No?
Because he was 10 yards away from his career high. And he said, and of course they're playing the Giants. He said, look, I'm going to sit the starters. If you want to stay in and get the 10 yards, I'm not going to pull you. And Saquon said, no, let the young guys eat.
Okay. Wow. So Sirianni was going to let him break the record. If you didn't hear Sean, because he doesn't have a mic there, he was talking that Saquon Barkley was 10 yards away from his career high in rushing, and that he was playing the Giants, but he was going to take out the starters, but he told them, hey, I'll leave you in so you can get the record. And Saquon was like, nah, let the young guys eat and let them play. So cool on the coach.
Cool on Saquon.
Cool on Saquon. Obviously, he doesn't need that record. That's
like a bullshit thing that they would have in your face. No, look, I'll tell you the truth.
They already regret letting him go anyway.
Yeah, but I regretted that like a minute after the trade was announced. Are you kidding me? Saquon traded from the Giants to the Eagles in the same division?
Yeah.
You got to play him twice.
Right.
And if it works out, you're going to look really bad, and it sounds like they're looking
they look
really, really bad.
No, did you see the Giants show and they had openly admitted that they screwed up pretty. It was a bad look for the Giants. That whole GM show thing.
But the whole Saquon, I'm not going to pay him, and
it was a terrible.
It was bad.
Look for them.
It was really bad. But and but the good thing is they're consistent. They were really looking bad with Daniel Jones.
And they chose Daniel Jones over Saquon.
They've fallen in love with this guy for the last 6 or 7 years. He's not the answer. I mean, at some point, you got to smack somebody across the head and say, nice guy. He's probably going to be, probably be a great backup. Oh, my God. He would be a fantastic backup.
Yeah.
Which is needed in the NFL. And I think people should pay for a
well, listen, he scored himself a nice little young lady now. So, he'll probably get married and what's her name? The one that does the little fluff football show. What's her name? The little cutie. What's her name? Come on, guys.
Good Morning Football.
She used to be on Good Morning. Kay Adams.
Yeah, Kay Adams. Yeah.
Up in Adams.
I didn't know that Daniel Jones is with Kay Adams.
Yeah,
my man. Big O up on the romance in the NFL.
No, there's a lot of crap in my head.
There's
a lot of useless.
A lot of useless data.
A ton of useless information.
All right. So what do you think about useful data? The Dolphins and the Cardinals. What should I be doing? What should I be worried about? I'm at the game. I'm going to be worried. What am I?
Worried that Tua tries to be a football player.
Let's say he doesn't make a mistake this game, because I think he
worried
will.
that too many ums and ahs will delay the play getting sent in, and
but that's Mickey D. That's your boy Mickey D.
That's it. That's it. By the way, we had a contest this past week.
Okay.
All right, we gave away 9 different show shirts because we saw shirts.
Nice. I was wearing mine in Jersey not too long ago. Did I tell you I was from Jersey?
Yeah,
I
think you've mentioned it once.
That. Yeah.
And so we're giving away 9 different shirts and a hat to a winner that can tell us the total of how many ums and ahs Mike McDaniel has in a week of press conferences.
In a week.
So they had to send it in by last Sunday at midnight. And then we went with all of last week's press conferences and the Sunday post game. And so it's 3 during the week and 1 post game.
28.
And he has 4 press conferences. How many total ums and ahs do you think he had?
And I said 28. I guess I didn't win.
28.
Have you listened to a press conference?
478.
No, get out of Dodge.
I counted each and every one of them.
478.
Ums and ahs.
Wow.
In 4 press conferences. So never play a drinking game because you will die.
I was way off.
Yeah, you're way off. 28 is in 1 question. And an injury question, he'll have that. Okay?
Wow.
He averages 119 per press conference.
Per press conference.
So, just in case, if you want to make a little money, how many ums and ahs you think he'll have? 10, 20, 30.
More than 100.
I bet you'll have more than 100. Oh, get out of here. How much you want to bet?
Oh, I appreciate that. No, what do you think about the game, though? Now,
I think there'll be a lot of ums and ahs after the game.
I'm going to give you a side.
I think there'll be a lot of ums and ahs during the game.
In my fantasy league, I have an opportunity to pick up Puka or Waddle to put him in the lineup.
Oh, I'm going Puka.
That's what I thought, right? Yeah,
because Puka's the number 1 there. Once he gets in there, like they throw it to his ass all the time.
Waddle's 2.5. You know,
yeah, and he drops half.
He does
of the 2. So that's another thing.
Okay, good. So now back to the game. What's the over/under on the Dolphin game?
40. Let me see.
Yeah.
It's 48. I think I saw him. Not exactly.
Yeah, but they give up 30. So
46.
Wow, I think the under is looking good there. But Kyler Murray.
Yeah, because Kyler Murray and their offense don't score much. So yeah, you're right. This could be a low-scoring game.
But see, it's hard to go to the game
and root for less points.
It's like it's a very difficult. I've done it once this year. I
not.
might do it again this year. But
you're not being a good fan. You feel?
I know.
Right?
My wife is beside herself. Like if Tua doesn't have,
so you have 2 wives?
No. My
I was just saying. It's pretty
my
cool.
wife is very upset. My wife is very upset.
You cloned her and stuff.
Yeah, she's beside herself.
It's awesome.
She does do a lot. So maybe there's 2 of her. But so I will tell you, if Tua doesn't have a breakout game and the Dolphins don't look good, I think she's going to be literally reprimanding players. She's going to.
Well, we're all going to
jump from our seats in the tunnel and start smacking people around. I mean,
we're all going to be like that.
She's really, really, really on the brink. She's on the brink. She's on the brink now.
Do you blame her?
I know.
That's what this team does to us every year.
But I could tell you something. I really think there's a little more problems than Tua. I mean, that first 2 games.
McDaniel's the biggest problem you have.
I know, and that's not going to go away.
But
in your last segment, I overheard something. You said something like, is there a path to get rid of Mickey D?
Yeah, there's a path to get rid of Mickey D. Yes.
What's that path?
All right, I'll explain. Let me explain the path.
I know it's a dupe. Is it a duplicate? I apologize, but
No, it's not duplicate. I haven't done it, so I'm going to do it now. Okay. So here's the path for you guys, and I'm glad that you brought it up, because in a way you just talked about if you root for the under, you're like being a bad fan because you don't want them to score now. You want them to score as much as possible. You want to see Tyreek and Waddle celebrate 4,000 touchdowns because it's really fun to watch the Dolphins offense go. So you're being a bad fan if you're like rooting for the under, you know what I'm saying? And it will take you to be a bad fan to want Mike McDaniel fired. Why? Because the only way Mike McDaniel gets fired this season is if the season goes completely awry and they lose most of the games that are left. It has to be Cam Cameron-like finish. It has to be where you're so inept and that you're losing everything that at the end of the year, season ticket holders and all that are up in arms and they're calling the offices and they're saying, I'm not renewing. There is no way I'm coming back to this. And it has to get to the point that it got with Joe Philbin at the end. It has to get to the point that it got with Cam Cameron in just one season. And we are now in year 3. So for those of you out there, because I am getting the DMs like crazy, dude. And then I get it here on the chat board every day on the show. Fire McDaniel, fire this, fire Greer, trade this guy. And it's just not going to be easy to do that. The only way they're going to fire him after giving him an extension is if it becomes so unbearable that it's, a disaster. And that's what you're rooting for as a Dolphin fan. So think about that. If you're a Dolphins fan, the only way you're really going to get rid of Mike McDaniel is an outright just collapse where they win maybe 2 games the rest of the way. And they've got 11 left, I believe. Okay, they're 2-4. They have 11 left. So you got to root for 2 and 9 in order for McDaniel to get fired. But if they go and win 7, 8, or 9, I just don't see them firing him because they're going to be in the playoffs, right in the mix, and they're going to say, well, the Tua injury, and he figured it out, and we've got to tweak this, and we got to improve that, and if we do that in the offseason, and then they'll give him that next chance to fix it again, and then with a year in for the new deal, then I think that's when they can make that decision if things go awry. But if you truly want McDaniel fired, go to your nearest synagogue, church, wherever it is you go to pray, okay? Whatever black magic you want, brujeria, voodoo, I don't know, whatever you practice or preach. I don't really care. But you're going to have to work some kind of juju, okay? Maybe you go and talk to Jobu, and maybe Jobu has something for you. But if that doesn't work, that's the only way there's going to be massive change to the head coaching position. Outside of that, expect a lot of ums and ahs till next year.
Well, unfortunately, you're onto something. However, so I got this question for you. There's two points I could say. There's another way, but it's
By the way, I did that with no ums and ahs. Could Mike McDaniel do that? All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Probably not.
No, of course
So
not.
there's another scenario, and it's very unlikely. But if he has colossal errors that are like on TV during the game, or he does something incredibly stupid, and then 2 weeks later he does another game day call.
Well, it's part of collapsing.
Yeah,
so yeah,
I know, but if he makes,
it's got to be inept.
But it's got to be so
inept.
Where bad, where
you forgot. You mean like when you forget the down in a playoff game?
Well, that's
it's just something like that.
Yeah, well, he was close. So he was one off. But but what I'm saying is if he does something really, really stupid twice in a 3-week period, he's got a shot. He's got a shot at getting kicked out. Now, you're right. That's the problem.
You got to pray for a disaster.
I mean, these owners fall in love with these guys. I guess they feel that they can't get somebody else, but there's somebody better than Mickey D. I can tell you.
Oh, there's
right
a
now.
bunch of people
There's
better
a lot
than
of
him
people
because
better.
he's not the guy anyways.
Yeah.
He's just not the guy.
Yeah. But anyhow, that being said, I just wanted to stop by. Sports betting is alive and well. I know you can get it through the QR code.
$100 no regret first bet.
A nice
still?
little Mercedes Benz, not a little one, a nice Mercedes Benz.
Oh, wait,
giving away.
It started already.
November 1.
Oh, okay.
November 1.
I
That's
go,
all right.
man, I didn't see it outside.
No, but I had to sign the paperwork today, so I'm all fresh. From
okay.
I was even picking the color.
I go,
I
dude,
picked red. I hope it comes red.
No, because I usually do a social media post for you guys and all that.
November
like,
1. It'd be next Friday. Next Friday.
Up.
Next Friday. Next
Okay.
Friday. It's the cars giveaway is November 30th, the Saturday. We understand that. 1 o'clock. Sean be there. It's 1 o'clock. It's really Sunday morning. Casino day. We've got high hands coming out the Gazoobers here, right here in our poker room. Nice high hands.
And we love Gazoobers.
Gazoobers are nice. It's
big Gazoobers.
Yeah, they're big in Jersey. Gazoobers, yes.
We love big.
Yes,
we love big Gazoobers.
Yes, and so
big fan of big Gazoobers.
So what are you thinking in terms of
Gazoobers?
Did the Dolphins win?
D.
The Dolphins win.
Double D.
Oh, well, yeah, both of them are very good.
Yes,
but
definitely
they're all really good. But at any rate, so Dolphins win or not this week?
Win.
Okay, all right.
Win.
I'll go with you there. Does Tua throw more than 200 yards?
Oh, hell yeah.
Does Waddle get 5 catches and Tyreek get 5 catches?
No, what's more important is that you rush for over 130 yards, please. I need you to keep.
I think they will.
No, you better because see that's the problem.
I think he will.
That's he's probably right. You know what I mean?
I think they're going to run 130 yards.
It's like listening to Jim Cramer say, well, I don't know how Trump wins. And now you know Trump's going to win. You know, it's like one of those things. You know what I mean? It's kind of and you would see how they ran the last 2 weeks and you would figure, hey, bro, stay with the run now. You got Tua, so that way the play action is even better.
Good. 25's looking good.
The idiot waited till the second half to use a rookie.
He's looking good. Bro. He's looking very good.
You like it because he brings a little bit of a hammer.
He's got a little. HN is fast, speed, elusive.
And so is Mostert. And Mostert can run hard too, but this kid's
a hard runner.
This kid brings it.
Yeah, he's got some
power.
power.
And put him in from the first quarter.
Look, I think they're going to win. I think the Dolphins are going to win. I think it's
and protect Tua by running.
Well, that too, but I think that they're going to have this thing because now a lot of the sports media, you know how sports media gets a little goofy. Tyreek's not in the game. Tyreek, and so there's going to be some pressure, whether it's right out there pressure or sort of behind in the back of somebody's mind.
There's
pressure.
A storyline.
Yeah, it's a big storyline, and they're going to be on what's Tyreek, you know, and so they're going to try to probably throw too much, but I think they run more than 130 yards.
God, I hope so.
I
hope so. They need to develop that attitude and give it. By the way, maybe we find out the line's better than what people think it is. If you actually like put it in their hands and start using them, and then they can develop confidence and continuity running the ball. If you're constantly passing, man, you're up top and you're getting beat up all the time, dude. It's a pain in the ass.
I got one last thing. This is really for the Jersey guy.
Look at some of the teams that are dominating. Why are they dominating? Because they run the ball
and their offensive line controls.
Yeah.
The Jersey guy. I just want to drop this off. One little comment here. So the Jersey guy, for some reason, he just doesn't like Zimmer. You know, from Dallas, just can't stand.
Okay.
You know, we talked about it last year with the Zimmer's hot-looking girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just want to make note of this. So Dallas brings Zimmer to tighten up that defense. I think they're
the
last 4 games they're rattling. They're giving up like 35 points a game.
Well,
I mean, it's
two things.
Does Zimmer look like a bozo or what?
Right now, the defense is not good, and they don't run the ball.
That's true too.
They don't.
Got another problem. Yeah,
it's it's a theme that I keep telling people and I keep explaining to people for the last even when some of the young quarterbacks are playing well, go watch what element is helping them, why they're playing well.
Because the defense has to focus on the running game, and it opens up the
now
pass.
You bring the linebacker, you bring the safety in, and all of a sudden the middle of the field's open. And it's a different ball game.
That being said, Zimmer's looking like a bozo.
He is.
He's looking like a bozo. I understand that they're not running, but Zimmer is.
We all get old, brother. We all get to a point where we don't do the job the way we used to do the job.
But he got old in the head coaching job, and then he went back to what he's supposed to know, and he's a guru and an expert. But man, if that's a guru, Dallas is in trouble.
But maybe he's also old now.
Yeah, he can't. He can't.
You know,
call the defense like he used to.
I'm just sorry. That's just kind of the way it is. Hey, look, dude, I love him to death. He can call his shots whenever he wants, and he can do whatever he wants, and they named the court after him last night. Riley lost his fastball a long time ago.
Yeah.
He lost his fastball a long time. The last star he recruited was Shaq. Wade brought LeBron and Bosh with his friendships, and he brought Jimmy with his friendship. Really, Riley hasn't done any magic.
Riley is old.
But I'm just saying, we all get to that point that we don't have the magic that we had before. And as much as I love him, I will admit that he's not the guy anymore like he used to be. And it happens to all of us, dude. All of us. Jimmy Butler isn't what he used to be. You watched last night?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Yeah, well, because you probably already thought that he wasn't what he used to be. So you didn't have to watch. But I'm just saying, we all get
Is
to
Zimmer that old?
Aaron,
I don't think Zimmer's that old.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
You're watching it.
Aaron Rodgers is a fraud.
No, I know he's
just grabbing.
I
some
get
money.
he's an asshole and all that, and
fraud.
he's the easiest guy to root against because he's an asshole. But outside of that, if you're watching the 40-year-old man who's about to turn 41, is he the same Aaron Rodgers anymore? No.
Close.
We all get to that.
Personality-wise, he is.
Well, he's the same asshole. Yeah.
Personality.
That's a gift. That's a gift you can have till you die. Actually, that's a talent you can have.
He might have gotten better at being an asshole.
He might be. He might have gotten better.
Anyhow.
He might have gotten better. But it's
Zimmer's 68.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's could be what do you mean? I'm 66.
Bro,
no, he didn't lose anything.
Hey,
Riley's in his 70s.
Shula.
No, I know. In the last couple of years was
once he lost his personal. Once George Young was with the Giants building his own championships, and Thomas was gone, and Beathard was gone, and all that. He had all that in the 70s and the early 80s, very early 80s. And then after it was gone, by the mid 80s and on, Shula made all kinds of mistakes. He was still a great coach because he could overcome shit. Because you give him anything and he'd coach it up. But it wasn't the same because he didn't have the personnel people. And then he got older, and then the cap came in, and that really, like, oh my God, he got us some cap trouble like this.
I just think Zimmer, maybe that old thing is accelerated because he started to go downhill about 5 years ago, and that wasn't that old. He wasn't that old at that point.
I know.
And I think Zimmer was overrated. I think
brother, go watch videos of Joe Biden like 5, 6, 7 years ago,
it's not even close.
and look at him now. He looks like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like you watch him, he was much more vibrant and live. Now you're like, oh my God, he's got formaldehyde just coming right out of his mouth and shit. Like
Listen,
he's dead.
I watch him. I think he's going to fall down any moment.
Like he looks like he's dead.
He's going to fall down.
He looks like he's like, oh my God,
horrible,
It's
horrible.
Like,
don't worry.
We all get
don't
there.
Worry. His vice president said that he's alive and well. He's the most active in the room. Yeah, sure. Anyhow, so let me run before I get killed on the way out of here. Adios.
At this point, come on, bro. If you can't see it, I can't help you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
Alrighty.
All right, my
Take
brother.
care.
Appreciate
Take care, guys. Bye.
You got it. And don't forget the no regret first bet. There's the QR code. Take advantage. $100 no regret first bets. The great Steve Calibro. Appreciate you as always, my brother. Thank you. And thank you all for supporting the show as always. And we all get there, man. We all get there. We get to a point where we can't do the job, and we're not the same that we used to be and all that kind of stuff. I'm the only guy that has the balls in town to say, hey, I love Riley, but the fastball ain't there anymore. Hasn't been there for a while. And by the way, I told Sean this. Did you notice yesterday naming the floor and all that? And then they also introduced everybody that's like the foundation of the team and the future and all that. The future is in good hands and all that kind of stuff. It's coming. And I don't know if Riley's going to get the chance to leave it with one more championship and walk off into the sunset a la John Elway. I just don't think so because they don't have the ammunition to make the moves. And you could have gotten that ammunition 2 years ago if you would have made the move for Jimmy Butler and moved him for multiple picks. Now he looks old and it's going to be hard. I hope that what we saw yesterday is not a sign of things to come. I hope that, Jimmy can find some gas in that tank. But, brother, he looked like he was dragging that tank, and it had nothing but fumes. That's what it looked like. It looked like a guy that ain't going to get an extension by anybody. He's just going to leech off the last year that's left on the contract. And you're going to move him when it's an expiring contract. That's when he becomes sexy to somebody, as an expiring contract. So, crazy shit, dude. Let me ask you guys something. Are the Browns fans, because I want to put you in this position as a Dolphins fan or Frankie Fresco, whatever 87 teams you're rooting for against the Canes. Just to ask, because the Browns fans were rooting and cheering on when Deshaun Watson got injured and was getting carted off the field. So I'm wondering, because as Dolphin fans, you had a coach that wanted Deshaun Watson. And can you imagine if the owner would have listened to him and made the trade, and you would have been in the same position right now? Your team acquires an alleged rapist. That's not a good look as it is. Then the alleged rapist comes in and has to sit out some time for a suspension. And then when he does play, he plays like absolute dog shit. And you've guaranteed whatever it is, $250 million, $300 million, whatever the hell it is. And this is dead cap money that is going to absolutely annihilate you if you have to pay it. And remember, didn't they get cute with one of the years of his contract that they paid like $1 and then they pushed it back or something like that? Then that one year where it was suspended, it was like less money or something like that. There was some trick they did with it. I don't know. So I think they did something like that they even screwed themselves more, pushing back more money. And are the Browns fans who didn't say they want, all of them, I'm sure didn't say they wanted Watson. I'm sure some were disgusted with it. And then they're disgusted with a full guaranteed contract that nobody has ever done. Yet, instead of giving a full guaranteed contract to character individuals, you know what I'm saying? There are certain guys that if you give them a guaranteed contract, you're like, okay, at least I know he's not going to be a scumbag and get arrested and do dirty things, right? You give Pat Mahomes $300 million, that guy is going to be a gentleman, a pro. Off the field, you'll never have any trouble. He's not his dad. Anyway, so you know what I'm saying, okay? So if you got whatever, Tom Brady, you could just go on and on and on and talk about guys that will never get in. Russell Wilson in his heyday, whatever. Any of these kind of cats that are just absolute awesome human beings. You could do that. But Deshaun Watson, you gave an absolute alleged scumbag criminal all that. You gave him a contract that none of the prior names I mentioned who could easily get that guaranteed contract. I'm not a big Kirk Cousins guy, but shit, at least I know when you give him the money, he's not going to go out and beat up women and go drive at 100 miles an hour and, whatever, and do just dirty shit. I know Kirk Cousins is going to be a super decent human being. I'm never going to get a 2 a.m. call that, hey, I beat up a woman. Not going to happen. So if you're the Browns fans, you've been put through hell already as it is as a fan base. And then they bring on Deshaun Watson. You're now a joke in the entire league as a fan base, as a team, because you did the Deshaun Watson thing. Since we got a bunch of people watching right now, are the Browns fans out of place for booing and cheering on and wanting the next quarterback, chanting for the next quarterback? I don't think so, dude. If somebody got injured, like, when Eagles fans were cheering on that Michael Irving was injured on the field, that's scumbag shit. Okay. Now, we are talking about Eagles fans. So out of all the NFL teams, there is one fan base that has more lowlifes than anybody else, and the Eagles are that fan base. So I kind of get it. But see, that's low-life shit. Browns fans, hey, man, we don't have enough sympathy for the women that Watson may have tortured, traumatized, assaulted, whatever. So why should we have any sympathy for this guy? I have zero issues with Browns fans. If they're happy he got injured, I don't mind. I don't mind. If they're happy he's gone, good for them. I root on for Browns fans because I'm happy for some fan bases that have been like Lions fans, dude. I'm so happy for Lions fans because I know what they've suffered longer than us Dolphin fans. So good for them, dude. You know, that doesn't get in our way right now. Unless we meet them in the Super Bowl or something, then I want the Lions to lose. But right now, I'm happy for them, you know? And I would be happy for Browns fans to have good things happen to them, bro, because they have been through hell and back. And then you just hand them Deshaun Watson. So, because some people have written articles that, oh, that was not right by the fan. No, yeah, man. Yeah. Again, we got to get to a point where, you know, the sympathy stuff only goes so far for certain people. Others don't deserve it. Aaron Rodgers doesn't deserve your sympathy. And neither does Deshaun Watson. And Aaron Rodgers didn't allegedly rape women or sexually assault women, but he is a first-class asshole. And he doesn't deserve any of your sympathy. So why would I have any sympathy for Deshaun Watson? I have sympathy for the Cleveland Browns fans. That's who I have sympathy for because I can relate to them. All right, folks. We thank Steve Calibro. We thank, of course, Mr. Brunetti. As always, thank you. And the Brunetti family always been supportive of our show and our platform because when we were in radio, they were supportive. They've been supportive of our platform for, you know, we're going 4.5 years on our way to 5 years, and they've been there with us from day one, and we appreciate it immensely. We thank this man right here, Sean Stanley, always getting it done, the man, the myth, the legend, always mastering the program. We thank all of you out there. If you hit the like button, thank you. If you send in a super chat, we appreciate you. Cash App or Venmo. Remember, you can make a donation anytime. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And speaking of Bitcoin, it is at 68,340, baby. It is pumping. Awesome. We'll see you all tomorrow morning. We're in studio tomorrow, right? We're on the road. We're at Acura tomorrow. Because next week I am not. Yeah, because next week we are. Because next week is the 30th. Oh, okay. Oh, it's Thursday. So we are at Acura tomorrow. So there you go. We'll see you tomorrow at Craig Zinn's Acura, Pembroke Pines.